you're a younger, far more beautiful audience that I just spoke to, and I want to keep it off the record. I want to keep that off the record because I don't want to have all those big shots up there. I don't want to think you're more powerful than them, you look better than them, and I love you. Now, we just had a great time. We just had a great day. This was amazing. You know, when you think we took a journey, I mentioned in the speech, a lot of people said that was not a journey that was possible, and it was indeed possible. I didn't really know too much about what they were saying when they said that, but a lot of people felt it. And we hooked up with JD very early. I watched JD over a period of time. I endorsed him in Ohio. He was a great senator, and very, very smart. The only one smarter than him was his wife.
Want to get it off your chest? You're in the right place. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun sprinkled with a lot of laughs? Heard in every state in the Union and 1,000 cities around the world. We just finished 16 years of broadcast excellence, now in our 17th year. The Dave Weinbaum Show is streaming live all over the world. Just when the world is in the palms of your hands, your nose begins to itch. When Biden successfully cheated to the presidency in 2020, he started falling apart at the seams. His abdominal accumulations were so widespread they had to scrub the White House floors and completely remove the Rose Garden. That's why his dogs were biting him. He crowded them out of their dumping habits. Joe got around as the Dems took us to the pound. But you can't take a Trump and leave him in a dump. He dodged bullets in jail as illegals invaded by rail. Dems use government to shake down our party, as Trump proved time and time again. Biden was just an old farty. Donald has done more in 3 days than Joe did in 50 years. He benefited the world without Biden's peers. Like Murkowski, Collins, and Pelosi, Austin, and Milley, all were sneers. Trump assigned folks to save us from all these dolts. We must weed out the rhinos with their stupid votes. Hegseth is worthy to run our military, at least much better than the pics of St. Hillary. As Biden, Kamala, and Schumer have released illegal aliens, murderers, and rapists, putting them in with our daughters and sons to be bound and silenced without our border guns. Those millions they counted on for future votes, they have made Dems appear to Americans as lost, sickly dolts. Trump and God are the reason for escape from treason, as Trump is in top power for any kind of season.
It's such a beautiful speech. You can't put things in there that you were going to put in. And I was going to talk about the J6 hostages, but you'll be happy because, you know, it's action, not words that count. And you're going to see a lot of action on the J6 hostages. See a lot of action. And I was going to talk about the things that Joe did today with the pardons of people that were very, very guilty of very bad crimes, like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, where they literally, I mean, what they did is they destroyed and deleted all of the information, all of the hearings, practically not a thing left. They deleted all the information on Nancy Pelosi having turned down the offer of 10,000 soldiers.
And that was the speech after the inauguration speech. Can you believe that? It was a better, much better speech than the inauguration, because there was things he kind of didn't want to say in the inauguration, but afterwards in a friendlier crowd where there were no Democrats, he gave that speech, and I have highlighted that. I got tons of clips on it. I didn't want to say the speech during my monologue. And by the way, I thought my monologue came off good because I was a little nervous about it because it was like a poem. I don't know why. Sometimes I write like a poem. You know, at home I start to rhyme things. We can't go into the things I say because that could get us off the air. But, it was kind of interesting. Hey, welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. My friend up there, JP Maxwell, he's the producer.
Yep. Good morning, everybody.
Along with Rick Henderson. Rick Henderson, I missed him a couple weeks ago, so now I'm trying to say his name a couple times to make up for it. But he does all the bits and the clips and stuff like that. He's been doing it for about, 5-6 years now.
I've been producing the show for a little bit over 3 years, and Rick came on just a little bit after. So I'd say about nearly
years.
3. Yeah.
All right. Well, time's flying, What can I tell you?
Yeah.
I'm getting old. And my lovely bride, who's keeping me young, I think, Lisa Ann Weinbaum, or she likes to be known as the Law. She likes to rule the house, don't you?
I think it's a shared responsibility, and
No, you don't.
we discuss everything equally.
No, you don't.
And it's all a very fair.
It's all about
it's
you.
a very fair arrangement.
Yeah.
And don't move my Kleenex box dispenser again.
There you go. See that? There it is. That was the big stupid fight. I almost went in there. I've got this thing of Kleenex. We have a sort of a bathroom with 2 shelves on it, but it's the same shelf, and we have this one little box of Kleenex.
Yes,
right?
It's in a dispenser, which matches the other.
The problem with
accessories
it
on
is
the
that
sink.
you can't see it when it comes out, and she doesn't refill it. And then the gal that comes in once a week or once a week, she doesn't do it. So I went and got me a big box. I said, but I prefaced it because I didn't want to start a fight. I said, honey, would it be okay if I replace that wooden box with the paper box so I can see how many are left? Because nobody's refilling it.
You didn't say that part.
Oh, yes, I did.
I just thought you were replacing it because it's empty.
No. And so
which is what you should be doing.
So she said, yeah, oh, that's fine, honey. Last night I go in there and there's no sign of the big Kleenex box where you can see all the Kleenex in there. The wooden thing is back and you can't see it. So we had a little tiff, didn't we?
One of us had a little meltdown.
I had, when you, the most important thing is when you have stuff, you get in the habits of looking for it.
You should never pick
And
fights at bedtime.
Well, you don't. Well, we got along fine after that, didn't we?
One of us was.
Hey. Anyways, yeah, all right. Well, I think we got along pretty good. And if I say we got along pretty good, darn it, we got along pretty good. Anyways, we've got a great show today. We got Rabbi Moshe. Things are they're seemingly in a better position now than they were before. Everybody's in a better position because they don't have to put up with Biden and Kamala. We've got J.J. Bradshaw coming on next, and then Chris Adamo. Mark and Pat McCloskey, they're going to have a ball here, and Jeff Zink coming on at 10:30. Lots of more scoops today, I got a feeling. Here's the rabbi. Get it?
Hello.
What am I supposed to say? Oh, that's right. We don't do his song anymore. I love that song. That's just stupid. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, wartime rabbi raises money to aid IDF war widows to find each other and help them with their children. So if you send him money, he's going to be working on that. Please welcome all the way from Jerusalem, I think. Yes, he is. Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. So, Rabbi, the IDF chief, Herzi Halevi, resigned, citing failure on 10/7/23. Will your son be replacing him?
No, my son will not be replacing him, but I have to say I'm not sad to see him go. He did say that he was going to be resigning. It wasn't only he who resigned this week. There was another General Yoav Finkelman who was in charge of the South. Sorry, he resigned as well, and people here are very happy to see them go.
So, you don't know. So you kind of hold this guy responsible. When we were talking on October the 6th, and I brought the subject up of security. Just what were they doing there? How did they not know anything was going to happen?
It's not that they didn't know, as they got reports and everything. The thing is, you have to understand something. They get reports every day of tons and tons of things going on. And, and they didn't give it enough credence. Whereas they thought it was something that it wasn't. It's not that they didn't know. They saw it from April of 2023. They already saw Hamas practicing, running to the border, timing themselves, dragging, pretend bodies, see how long it would take them to run, so on and so forth. But the truth is, they do these kinds of things all the time. And so they misread the situation. If you look at 9/11, how is it possible that you had these terrorists studying to fly planes in the United States, bought one-way tickets? There was so much chatter, and the U.S. intelligence missed it. It's not that they didn't know about it. They heard things, but they just didn't give it the necessary weight. And that's the nature of intelligence. It's a cat and mouse game. You're constantly, they're always looking to exploit you and exploit weaknesses. And once in a while, the bad guys win.
Yeah, I get that, but it's sort of like I don't know what I came up with, because I had a bad feeling. Let's put it that way. And what you need people who are paranoid. You need people to work for you who are paranoid, who see things over there that aren't connected to those things over there, and then what you see with your own eyes, and you sort of feel like there's something going on here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, except 24/7, the enemy is also when you underestimate someone, or even if you don't underestimate someone, in a chess game, the grandmaster doesn't win every time. Sometimes the other guy has a good plan and he executes it, and you didn't see it coming. Nothing. You can't hermetically seal anything. You can't always outthink the other guy. Even the best teams, even the brightest people, sometimes are outsmarted and are outdone.
Okay.
It happens.
Okay, so but why does this guy feel bad then? Why does he feel responsible for the guy that resigned?
Well,
the people that resigned. Why did they feel responsible? Is he responsible? Is he
well,
not?
I think what there's two things here. There's one, the lead up to October 7th, and then there's what did they do on October 7th when they heard what was going down. And that's where we see tremendous failure, where the soldiers didn't come to some of the places that the terrorists were invading till in the evening. There's no excuse for that. And there was, that to me is inexcusable failure. So those are the kinds of things that I felt that Finkelman and Herzl Halevi should be gone. They didn't react fast enough when they did have information.
Well, I think there's going to be some investigations going on, if not already. And we'll see.
Yeah, there are.
Remember the people that were protesting at the Capitol, at one of the Capitol buildings, who were Jewish, and they came just before the day Bibi spoke to Congress on 7/3/24. Have any of them even mentioned the hostage deal? The fact that there were hostages? I mean, do they ever protest that? These are Jewish groups. Our JVP. There's a Jewish group. Did any of them protest when the hostages were taken? When all these people were killed?
They have their biases. Their confirmation biases. No matter what happens, it's always going to be Israel's fault. And
Israelis, a lot of them.
Yeah, you have a lot of Jews who are, self-hating Jews or Jews in name only, and it doesn't make a difference what Israel does. And that's why we have to ignore those folks, because no matter what we do, we're always going to be wrong. So why bother? The majority of the peoples who we have to speak to. So, for example, in the United States, the latest poll shows, I think, 79% supporting Israel.
Yeah.
It's an enormous number. And now we have a president that's reflecting the will of the United States, as opposed to creating, his own ideas, which Biden was doing, which was not reflective of the will of the United States. So, for example, Donald Trump on his first day, as part of his executive orders, here's one example where he said all the ordinances, all the bombs that Israel needs, that they tell us they need, they will go through. There'll be no delays, no hesitation. So that's reflective of the will of the United States, that Israel should be able to defeat Hamas and give them the tools they need.
Well, there's also the issue of not only that, but Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri. Trump and I are pushing a full audit of all funds sent to Ukraine. How about all funds sent to Iran during the Obama-Biden presidencies? This is the main reason why that's another main reason to have.
Well, we got into this mess. Yeah, we got into this mess when Iran was enriched by the Biden administration.
Exactly.
You give them money, and believe me, they're not going to Disney with that money. They're using it for terrorism as state sponsors.
Yep. Saudi prince, he makes a $600 billion investment offer, and pledged it to Trump just recently. And this is a big part of that war too, is that suddenly Saudi Arabia was getting very close to Israel, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's that.
Let me ask you a question. We'll go further. So now with the Abraham Accord seemingly up and around again, Trump wants $1 trillion from the prince, and he might go for it. Who knows?
You never know. It's he may write him a check, but we're in good spirits here after the inauguration. Yeah.
I've got people USA and all this on my board here. I can't even. I need better glasses. But everybody's happy. I mean, everybody. Even a lot of the Democrats have sort of like come around. How could Joe Biden, every time he pardoned somebody, every time he gave them gifts and awards and medals, during the time that Trump came into office, it's like a gift of knowledge that these guys suck for years, and they don't know. They have no idea how it happened.
Right.
They're blaming each other. Oh my goodness. I mean, nobody is a leader anymore in the Democratic Party. They have no leaders. Kamala is the top leader. How's that?
Right. Yeah. And what I loved about Biden's pardons, not only he pardoned people who committed crimes, but he's pardoning people who have yet to be accused of a crime.
You know
So,
what his major fault was though?
what was that?
He didn't even pardon himself. He's culpable.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? And some of the things, I just read a thing today.
Can you do that? Is that even possible?
I read a thing from a gal by the name of Leva Levy in Florida. You might even know her. I think she's on your list. And anyways, she says that the oh God, what was I going to say? That well, let's go on to something else. Israel and AI. With Israel and AI. What is going on with that? Anything?
Are you talking about like with Hamas?
No. AI. What is that, honey? That's automatic
artificial intelligence.
Yeah. It's a big deal here now. Huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal in Israel too. I mean, I thought you were referring to the way it's been used with the war with Hamas.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a part of
it played a big part of it, but it is AI and its capabilities are like really we're at the tip of the iceberg. We're really at the tip of the iceberg, and it's really going to change a lot of things.
Sure. It's big,
Yeah.
Anyways,
you're not going to have any. You're not going to have any more workers in McDonald's. It's all going to be AI.
Listen, I think we're headed that way. A lot of it.
Yeah, there's a company, SoundHound. For full disclosure, I bought some of their stock, but they're developing AI for restaurants, for cars, and so on and so forth. It's not simply those machines you can order. It's intelligent. It responds to you, and it's responsive, and it can. It's really incredible. So they've developed, their application for restaurants, automotive, and stuff like that, and their stock's doing great.
So can you get that? You can get that in humans, like human-like things that will respond to you positively.
What do you? I can't see who you're looking at.
I'm looking at my wife.
Oh, okay. Just
Oh, no, not the whip. All right. So these anti-Semitic college campuses are starting again. All right, and it doesn't appear like they're going to make any. I think it was Columbia College that had a big rally, and it's back to kill the Jews, kill all the Jews from the river to the sea, and they made a very weak statement towards it. Didn't call the cops or anything. I'm telling you, we need an organization that's going to protect us, and it has to stem from Israel.
Well,
you are the Jewish state, and we're all the way out here. And maybe you want to say, well, move to Israel, but it's.
I wasn't going to say that. What I was going to say is that Trump, in his executive orders, made some very strong statements, or whatever you want to call them, about the college campuses and about students who are, say, here on student visas, that they're going to be deported for things like that. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see if he takes action. We're living in a time where, I think I may have told you this, where it's safer to go to the country, Columbia, than the university.
Exactly. Yeah. Now let's go on to Trump. I only got this and maybe one other. Trump nails the world economy for him. Did you see that? He pretty well told them what you're going to do. This is the world economy in some place in Switzerland. You're one of your favorite places. Like where they have all the Jewish gold teeth that they took from the Holocaust. People that were killed. You know about that, right? They still got it. What is
that? Well, it's valuable. So
it's Switzerland. It's Switzerland. They're supposed to be a even-handed.
They're supposed to be a neutral country,
Neutral country.
and it's supposed to be a neutral country. Well, when it comes to Jews, there's no such thing as neutral. It's like the Me Too movement. Everything's women's rights, except when it comes to Jewish women. Everything's Jewish. Rights. Everyone matters, but Jews are always the exception to everything. So, can you imagine? We haven't really spoken much about this hostage deal.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? When the U.S. hostages were taken, in Iran, and imagine Jimmy Carter releasing 50 murderers from jail in exchange for each one U.S. hostage. I mean, that would be, and then depositing them somewhere in the United States. I mean, it's unheard of, the expectation for
Iran for the hostages, giving them about $1.5 billion for each of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's this double standard,
right.
It can be neutral when it comes to other things. There's always this double standard.
What you're saying is we're going to have we're all going to have another problem, but you're going to have the direct problem of people now going back. This is a major lawn cutting. I grant you that it's a major lawn cutting, but it is that. And it's not going to stop them from rearming in a year or two and coming right back at you.
Yeah, so we're hoping. I mean, there's a lot of obscurity here, and we're hoping that this is sort of a temporary ceasefire, and that it's not going to mean that the war is over, but rather it's going to be release of some of the hostages, and then we're going to go back to pounding them. So I don't know. People here are talking about maybe something's going on behind the scenes with Trump and Netanyahu, that Trump pressured him, make this deal, but don't worry, because once we get them out, then you'll do what you have to do. So sure. It's not clear at all what's happening. To be honest, it's the whole situation is very strange.
I'm just saying it seems to be falling back into the same place it was, only on a higher scale. And
something
with Trump there, you're not going to see. I mean, he's not going to take it. He's not going to take it for Israel. He's going to, like Biden did. He's going to. Biden got a lot of people killed, including Jews. He got a lot of people taken hostage with his $1.5 billion. So, all right. Now, last thing: scoops and rabbi rants. Got any?
Nope.
No? Okay. Other than Dave Weinbaum, .net, where can people find you and buy your book? I forgot to mention your book. Why don't you tell us about the book a little bit?
They can go get the book at secretsofthehebrewbible.org, and you will learn more reading 1 or 2 pages in there than you did for all your years of Hebrew of Sunday school. So I urge you to get it.
And where can people contribute?
You can go to our website, israelalliance.org, or facebook.com/Israel Alliance. We'd love to hear from you.
Did you hear about the patriotic vegetable?
No.
Yeah, he was a national gourd. Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Rothschild, big hand. How do you need the kids, okay?
You got it, guys. Shabbat shalom. Take care.
Shabbat shalom. All right. We're going to go to commercial. We got JP coming on, or JJ coming on next, Bradshaw. He's great. He's a constitutional expert. We got a lot of constitutional things coming up. And unless I'm seeing things, our numbers are way up. Yeah, I love it.
I think a lot of it is on X today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's great. All right. Well, get your people out there looking at this show. Okay. I only do one a week, and I try to make it the best I can. And I'm studying this stuff almost all the time. and I love doing it. So get people out to see it. I think they're going to get something whether they agree or not. And if you want to call me, 573-578-2700, or
you can also reach us on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube.
All right, we're going to commercial. Hit it.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Honey, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're filling up a swimming pool.
Yep, I'm filling up a swimming pool.
In our living room?
How else am I going to watch the game and stay cool?
If your AC is on the fritz, call Hartley's Climate Control. Hartley's is the area's best in HVAC repairs, installs, and maintenance. Knowledgeable, honest, and dependable. Serving Rolla and the surrounding areas for commercial or residential needs. Hartley's Climate Control. Community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy, but also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
At your locally owned Price Chopper, our standards are high because we know yours are. See for yourself what an incredible fresh selection of grocery items we have in store. Talk to our expert meat associates about what you're looking for. They're happy to meet any special requests like custom cuts, or see our expert produce associates on how to pick out the best fruits and vegetables. Quality in the deli means fresh, full flavor, and always delicious. If you're craving fresh baked goodness, we have that too. You can expect the best selection and the best value while interacting with our friendly and knowledgeable employees. You can find what you're looking for fast and easily at the best prices at Price Chopper. Fresh savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
Maybe it's for a kitchen you've always wanted. Maybe it's just to have a little extra room. Whatever the reason you're considering a new home loan, it's good to know that Town & Country Bank will guide you in the right direction. Our experienced local lenders are here to help you with a new home construction, remodeling projects, and fixed and adjustable rate home loans. You can even start the process online by clicking Online Mortgage Center at tcbanks.com. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Between JD and Melania and anybody else that heard, please, sir, it's such a beautiful unifying speech. Please, sir, don't say these things. I said, I'm telling you, it's going to play great. They say, you're right. For this group of people, it's going to play great. You're the only ones I hurt by not, but we had some beauties, didn't we, Melania? She said, sir, calls me sir when she's angry. No, I'm only kidding. I better say I'm only kidding, or the press is going to pick that one up loud and clear. No, but she said, no, I think it would be terrible. It's such a nice speech. I think it's, it all depends on your delivery. How was the delivery? Was it good? They said, please don't bring that up right now. You can bring it up tomorrow. I said, how about now in front of I'll bring it up right now. This little time delay is good because we're getting great reviews on the speech. Now watch. They'll take the speech and say, I didn't like it because he left there and he's talked to people. But we're giving you a little more information than we gave upstairs. But no, they pardoned a lot of people. They pardoned, before we even get to today, they pardoned, 33 murderers, absolute murderers, the worst murderers. When you get the death sentence in the United States, you have to be bad, because they don't give it much. And he pardoned almost everybody having a death sentence. And if you went through the crimes that were committed, you wouldn't even believe them. The level of violence, the people that were killed, the innocence of people that were killed, and children killed by these people. And he pardoned them for whatever reason.
Here's the thing I couldn't figure out on the last, when I was on last. And that is that allegedly Vlad Putin is demanding Fauci be tried in Russia for all the deaths caused by the COVID shots. As you know, Fauci's been pardoned by Joe Biden, but does that mean that he can't be expedited to somewhere else? That's a question for a lawyer. Is there a lawyer in the crowd? Well, I got at least one. I got two coming on, so they could probably answer that question. But that was what I was looking for from this Levy gal who's in, I believe she's in Florida. Let me read some of the stuff here that we've gotten so far. We got a lot. Okay, yeah, wow, look at all this. Okay, Louis Vera. Hi, Dave. As Latina on fire. Wait a minute. We had one of those, Elizabeth. Is that her?
I think if I'm correct, I believe this might be.
Hi, it's Liz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, she was a favorite. Latina on fire. Why is her name now Louis?
She looks different too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is this a trick?
Hi, Liz.
Is it? No, seriously. What do you
know.
mean she looks different?
It's a man.
It's a man?
Well, let's see.
Louis.
Well, but wait a minute. No. I mean, It's showing as a man. Oh boy, I'm so confused because Trump said, remember this, he said there's only 2 genders. And you're screwing with my mind, I think. I think you're just screwing with my mind. Patricia Odin Maxwell, sounding good, looking good. Go team. That a girl. All right, John Jeffrey Bradshaw. So much happened this week.
Yep.
And it's still happening. My God, they're in Boston taking people out.
There we go.
Okay, now wait a minute. That is Liz, isn't it?
That is Liz, yeah.
Okay. Liz, what's with the name? Good to see you. We'll have to have you back on the show.
She has multiple identities.
I think she got mad at me once or something. Well, all women get mad at me at certain times in their lives. They have to.
We are back.
It's part of the deal. And look who I see there. Let's hit it with this gentleman who is 256 years old, just a little bit younger than the United States. Actually, he's a little older than the United States is. Isn't the United States like 250 years old? So when he was 6, he was out there fighting the Revolutionary War. That's incredible. This gentleman, and I'm going to put up his little sign because he loves that, I know. He is an expert on the Constitution. He is also a person that hung out with George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin. Please welcome all the way from Rolla, Missouri, John Jeffrey Bradshaw.
Thank you, Dave.
How you doing, JJ?
You know, it's been a hell of a week, Dave.
Wow.
I know.
Are you happy about just about everything that's happened?
Oh, I've been smiling all week.
Yeah,
Monday was just a stellar day.
Me too. I always used to wear my hats. I can't wear the Trump hats in the store because I don't want to piss off anybody who's about to give me money. You know, God forbid.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm wearing it all over the place and have been, and I'm getting a lot of comments about, wow, cool. Where do I get one of those? You know, this hat here.
You know, this week has been just amazing, Dave. It has exploded with information. And I've been scrambling all week to try to keep up with it because there's so many things happening all at the same time. And you and I both knew that Donald J. Trump was going to step on the stage and hit the ground running. And boy, did he ever do it.
But he's not stopping. He's accelerating.
Yeah. This has been a pretty amazing week. I want to start off briefly by Joe Biden's pardons. In particular, the last minute pardon. While Donald J. Trump was on stage, Joe Biden pardoned Fauci and Mark Milley, the entire January 6th committee, his brother James and Frank and Valerie. You know, you don't really need to pardon someone if they're not guilty of a crime.
Yeah, one would think.
One would think. That's common sense stuff. One thing that interests me greatly is he did not pardon Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi was one of the people that slid the dagger in between his ribs. And I know this wasn't an omission on his part. I think he wanted to leave her wide open for prosecution, and good. I think she needs
now,
to.
What would she be culpable for?
Oh, my God, Dave.
She just confessed to refusing the 10,000 or so troops that Trump offered her, and she confessed it to a reliable source, her own daughter, and it was videotaped.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nancy was left off of that dubious list of pardoned folks, and that was not an omission. That was intentional. This is a vindictive old man. I'm thoroughly pleased that I probably won't have to see his face or hear his voice again. Good. My life is better as a result of that.
Well, there's one person that's important, though, that got away. You know who that was?
That was Adam Schiff, right?
No. Joe Biden. He didn't pardon himself.
That was in my notes as well. I don't know.
Adam Schiff needs to go. He needs to be. Maybe he pissed him off too.
Possibly.
I mean, we've seen the Democrats basically destroy the Democratic Party. There is no Democratic Party anymore.
They pretty much cannibalize their own when times are tough. And I'm glad. I am a cheerleader on the side for this thing. Go ahead, eat each other. I'm happy about that. Trump's executive orders. Let's pop a couple of those that are rather interesting.
How many are there so far?
I do not know.
I think it's getting up there. I think it's probably around 100. I think he's still doing them. I mean, 200.
He is.
They said they're going to do 200. First it was 100. Then he's doing 200, and he's sitting there in front of a press, all the press, and he's signing these things off. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, we're going to examine who killed John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King.
Well, that's another thing I was going to talk about. Since he has released those, it may be a couple of months before we see the totality of the text. But the one thing he didn't release, and I think he ought to, is Epstein's little black book. I would like to know whose names are on that. And maybe if the Democrats piss him off enough, he'll do just that. But there's a whole bunch of Democrat names in there and a whole bunch of Republicans too. So back to this, his executive orders. One of the ones that made me smile the most was Executive Order number 14171, which ended DEI in the federal government.
Wow.
Dave, we've had our noses rubbed in this garbage for the last 4 years, increasing every day. And our very own military, who's the best in the world, has been hobbled by this garbage. I'm so pleased that he has kicked that out. All of the DEI folks who are in management positions were put on paid leave for a little while until they could be terminated. Some of the places, including the State Department, have decided, well, we can keep this program running. Let's just call it something else. So in one case, a DEI manager has been turned into a senior executive. That's not going to fly. Not going to fly at all. Sorry, you need to get in the unemployment line. Birthright citizenship. Now, this is a 14th Amendment issue that's going to end up in front of the Supreme Court at some point. What Trump did by executive order was end birthright citizenship. And of course, a federal judge almost immediately put a temporary stay of execution on that.
But even further, he said this is a terrible thing. You can't do this. This is so beyond the Constitution, but it really isn't, is it?
It isn't. And here's the bone of contention on this thing. If you read the 14th Amendment, the actual text that is important in that with regard to this is, and I quote, "and subject to the jurisdiction thereof," end quote. One would argue that an illegal alien is not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. They do owe allegiance to their country of origin. This is going to end up in front of the Supremes. Now, I was pretty sure when I saw Trump sign that there was lawsuits pending on it. You can bet there's a whole slew of lawyers lined up to try to refute each and every one of these executive actions. Trump expected that. I expected that. This is the way the Democrats do it. This is lawfare still being showing its ugly head. If you get something that might be pretty good for the country, you file a suit, get a temporary injunction on it, and now it's in the courts. And the Democrats know that the courts grind along very slowly. So it may be years before any of this actually reaches fruition. I think the Trump Justice Department is going to operate a whole lot faster than the Biden Justice Department. I think we're going to see action on this pretty quickly. Okay, the 14th Amendment, if you look at the history of this thing, the pertinent part of it is the following. It was enacted to make slaves or former slaves and children of former slaves citizens of the United States.
Bingo.
This was intended to bring some closure to the Civil War.
Sure, and to slavery.
if you read the texts that went around that, the discussions that occurred in the Congress and things that were written about that, it had absolutely nothing to do with children of foreign-born people being citizens of this country. Absolutely not. That was later decided in the court.
In fact, they're probably, because of that, there is no law sanctioning this.
Well, there is jurisprudence. There have been court cases decided that suggest that a child born of foreign parents, born on United States
it's not constitutional.
It is not part of the Constitution, nor is it part of the 14th Amendment.
And one would think that that would be necessary for this to be upheld.
You're going to see this in front of the Supreme Court post haste.
Well, let's see what they do.
It's going to happen pretty quickly. As an aside to that, though,
yeah.
One of the arguments that the folks that are pursuing this have made is that Congress did not establish a law that says it's not illegal for a child of foreign-born nationals to be a citizen. So Representative Brian Babin, who is a representative of Texas, has filed the Birthright Citizenship Act, which would solidify the 14th Amendment and bar children of illegal aliens from being citizens. Now, whether this thing ever sees the light of day or not, who knows? It may never get out of committee. But at least we've got a representative there that says, yes, it is Congress's job to straighten this out. And here I filed a bill to do just that.
Well, now's the time to do it, isn't it?
Good for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Good for you. But that little bit of text, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, is what this thing is going to hinge on when it gets into the courts. This is something, I mean, it sounds boring as hell, but this is something I'm going to sit on the edge of my seat and watch, because it is tremendous importance.
With the ease of which people can invade this country.
Yes. It's
the protection of our borders.
It boils down to just that, Dave. It's oversimplified, but that's really what's happening here. Let's talk about January 6th for a minute. You know, the January 6th committee members were pardoned.
And by the way, Jeff Zink is on at 10:30. As you know, his son was actually convicted of 2 felonies, and he was never in the property. He was accused of killing a DC officer, Zicknick, I think.
Yeah, the guy died of a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly. He never saw the guy. And there was a policeman there was a DC cop who said he did it, that he saw him do it. That guy's got to go up for trial.
What is going to be interesting about this is, since all of these people have been pardoned, 2 things become relevant. There are going to be congressional inquiries. And in fact, Mike Johnson has formed the January 6th subcommittee in the Congress, chaired by Representative Loudermilk, who is going to investigate these things. Well, you say, gee, it's all after the fact. These people have been pardoned. There's nothing you can do. No, that's not the case at all. Number one, they gave up their Fifth Amendment rights, that is the right of self-incrimination, when they accepted a pardon. So they can be caused to tell the truth about things when they get in testimony. Now, you know, there's got people going to lie through their teeth, but the important part of this is when these inquiries occur, when the subcommittee holds hearings and calls witnesses, even though these folks can't be criminally prosecuted, they can certainly be exposed as the traitors that they are. And I think...
Now, who are you talking about as traitors? You're not talking about the J6ers who, because they didn't want to spend 20 years in jail, said they did it.
I'm talking about the people on the committee.
All right. Yes. Okay, good. I want to make sure that I'm hearing the right thing.
Oh, the people that invaded the Capitol are patriots, as far as I'm concerned. They were, for the most part, peacefully protesting. And I would argue that they were ushered into the building just to create a problem. You know, the Democrats are known for sowing chaos whenever they can. And
well, they had 2,000, according to Jeff, 2,000 FBI and other agents, CIA and others, in the Capitol working their way to getting these people annihilated. This was a big government takeover of the election process.
This and I hope that the subcommittee, the January 6th subcommittee, actually investigates this in some depth. I think with Mike Johnson spearheading it, and I don't know much about Loudermilk, but I expect he was appointed to this task because he's a bulldog. I want to see these people exposed for the traitors that they are. Can we prosecute them? No, they've been given a blanket pardon. But we can certainly expose them as being the anti-American traitors that they are. Now, one of the things you said in your monologue was that the majority of the evidence and the transcripts of Jan 6 have been destroyed by the committee. Right. That suggests to me, at least circumstantially, that these folks are guilty as hell. What do they have to hide? You know, there are transparency laws in this country, and Judicial Watch has filed suit after suit after suit because these folks have ignored Freedom of Information Act requests, which they are federally bound by law to acknowledge and produce transcripts. These folks have instead destroyed it. I want to see all of this exposed publicly. Our southern border, God bless Donald Trump. He's going to finish that wall. We had 2,500 troops down along the border anyway, just sent another 1,000. And what's interesting about that is there is a concept called posse comitatus, which demands that United States troops never be used against United States citizens on United States soil. So the troops that are sent down there are to augment our Border Patrol folks. They can take care of scheduling, administration stuff, transportation stuff, anything that doesn't involve having a gun on their hip. This is a good thing. Now, you can bet this will be challenged in the courts too, but I think the law is pretty clear on this, that the commander-in-chief could do what he wishes as long as he does not violate posse comitatus. So this is good stuff, Dave.
It's amazing stuff.
The new Congress passed the first piece of legislation of the new Congress with the new president, Lankford-Riley Act. And of course, for those, well, you got a pretty good bunch of people that listen and watch, so they know what this is. But for
how did any Democrat vote against this? Well, what reasoning could they possibly have?
They're lunatics.
Well, where does this get them in terms of popularity? Well, yeah, we don't care whether or not these people come in and slice and dice our children and rape them and kill them. Vote for me. I mean, where is the sense made here?
Well, they're appealing to their far left lunatic fringe. The trouble is that lunatic fringe has been at the polls pretty much rejected. They did, in fact, elect Donald J. Trump, popular vote, swing state vote, electoral college vote. They put in a Republican majority, slight though it is, in the House of Representatives and the Senate. That at least suggests that their far left loony ideas have been pretty thoroughly rejected by the electorate of this country. And good, they needed to be rejected. Dave, you and I both read this stuff. It's far left, one jumped over the cuckoo's nest, crazy ass stuff. And these people trying to put it in as policy for the United States of America. And that's pretty well been rejected.
We go way back, all right? And I started this show December 3rd, 2008. And you know who just got elected was Barack Obama. So I've been through two Obamas, been through the loss of Romney, and then one Trump, which was in 2016, and then back to being run by Obama and Joe Biden. And I'm sitting here saying this has been a rough road to hoe, baby. I mean, this is rough because I'm sitting here thinking these guys are getting us into a civil war. How are we going to exist? 87,000 IRS agents with guns? What the hell is that about?
Yeah, that's Obama's brown-shirted army right there
Exactly.
in the guise of IRS agents. Dave, I've been with you since the beginning of this stuff on KTTR way back when.
Oh, yeah.
So we have seen the same idiocy.
Yeah.
We've watched it together and commented on it together.
Sure. But we feel good now, and I feel really good about it. I mean, just keep this guy safe. That's
As we say in the Ozarks, this ain't bad. We also say you've done real good. Got a parting shot for you here.
Okay.
The cartels, the cartels are so entwined with the Mexican government and Venezuela and Colombia. They literally run the show. And why? Because money runs the show and they got bales of it. The fentanyl problem largely on our southern border, although there's some that occurs at the Canadian border. It's time for somebody to put an end to the cartels. So what did Trump do? Surely some constitutional lawyer associated with Trump did some digging and went back, now get this, to the Alien Enemies Act of 1798.
Right.
1798.
Yes, sir.
This law is way, way old.
Yeah.
And he's going to enforce it in an unusual way, but I think a constitutionally sound way, that he declares the cartels enemies of the United States and can pursue them even into Mexico, even into Colombia. They are a foreign enemy. If I was a cartel member right now, I think I'd go find a place in the Bahamas and just retire.
Yeah.
Because I would not want Donald J. Trump and the full force of the United States government and its military after me. I would not want that at all.
You got that.
So the cartels are going to react to this. How they do it, don't know yet. But the fact that Trump can declare that, and look how old that law is.
Wow.
He's got somebody working for him that actually knows the Constitution. And this ought to be good. I can hardly wait. Good stuff.
Great stuff. Great stuff. And it's every day there's something going on. Every day you're seeing Boston, whose mayor said, we will not turn in our illegal migrants. We will not do it. Sure thing. They're out of it right now. Yesterday they got a whole bunch of them, like 50 or 60 of them. And then Chicago. How dare you? There are black people there. You can't take black people, even if they are illegal aliens. Well, guess what? It's happening there too.
Tom Homan has said to those people, you can work with us or work against us, but we're going to enforce the laws of the United States of America. Either help us or get out of the way.
What a great pick he was, huh?
Oh, that guy is a bulldog. I
was just thinking about that. He's a hound dog.
He's one that's going to get the job done. He doesn't care about criticism. He has blown off CNN people. He has blown off MSNBC people, shown them to be the hacks that they are. Very down-to-earth guy. I got a parting shot for you, Dave. We got a minute or two?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I'm fine. I got a 10:30 or 9:31. So that's right.
Recall,
I got some stuff to read. There's no problem.
If you recall, the FISA courts were very much involved in the persecution of Donald Trump and his allies when he was in office and out of office. And the FISA court is kind of marginally constitutional, kind of. But interesting things are happening there.
They need to.
A federal district judge has ruled in the case of U.S. versus Hasbar Jami, Section 702, which is the FISA regulations, now will require a warrant for FISA surveillance. Why is this important? Because a FISA judge without a warrant could cause surveillance on you or me, and probably has.
Or Donald Trump.
It's worse than that, Dave. I was looking at some statistics, and in 2021, which is recent history, there were 3.4 million, that's 6 zeros, warrantless searches done, many of those on United States citizens. So how does this work? Well, they have a sieve, and they rake the water, and whatever comes up in the sieve, they take a look at. And used to be in this country, it required a warrant for you to be surveilled, not in the FISA courts. Well, a judge has finally, thank God, finally said, wait a minute, this is a violation of the Fourth Amendment of our Constitution, unreasonable searches and seizures.
That's right.
Therefore, from now on, and this may end up in front of the Supremes as well, thou shalt require a warrant to surveil a United States citizen. Now, the FISA courts can still surveil foreign nationals, either in this country or outside this country. And foreign nationals sometimes have interactions with citizens of the United States. Now, for that citizen of the United States to be surveilled will require a warrant. Thank God for the Fourth Amendment. Thank God for that judge. I wish I knew his name. I'd send him a birthday card because he did something right. FISA has been out of control for decades.
It has.
And the Congress continues to fund it.
And as I have a couple of judges go through my drive-through on Thursdays and Fridays, I actually talked to them about that on their way around. I said, this thing is disgustingly wrong. And they're nodding their heads, yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, they all knew it was wrong, but there's not a damn thing they can do about it. But
well, there sure is a lot they can do about it.
Thankfully,
if you're a judge and you're sitting there and you are responsible for liberty and justice for everybody, there's certainly a lot they could do about it if they're not scared.
Well, a circuit court judge in Rolla, Missouri does not have the resources to go after this. It takes somebody a way lot higher and a way lot better funded.
Look, we're ordinary citizens. If we're mad that our government is doing illegal things to us and other people, we're not getting paid to do this. Okay, we go out and we fight till we get an answer. Guess what? We got the answer November 5th. We got the answer, and we're implementing what should have been implemented a long, long time ago. How much credit should we give ourselves for this? I think a lot. There's a lot of people here, both on my board, all who listen to the show, all who've read my columns, all who watch what's going on and get all sides of the story. And we push exactly what we're supposed to do to get justice for everybody in this country, including.
That is the case.
Bingo.
But Dave, we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional representative republic, and we have representatives that are supposed to take what we say to them and make law out of it.
Sure.
Finally, in this country, after Donald J. Trump has become president, we're going to see that system actually work a little bit better. I think our elected representatives have gradually come to realize that they are accountable to the people that put them in office, not the lobbying groups, not George Soros, not
the CIA, not the FISA courts.
We are the people that will get your dumbass primaried if you don't toe the line.
Yep.
And I think the midterm elections coming up in just 2 years, we're going to see a whole bunch of people booted out on their butts because they refuse to take care of their constitutional duties. I intend to be alive and watching it. It is extraordinarily entertaining to me to do this stuff.
It is.
This crap makes me smile every day.
Well, you got to have a knack for this. We both have the knack for this. We both like doing the research too,
Oh, it's good stuff. The more you know about your government, the better
the more
armed you are.
The more you get shocked about what's the matter with these people? Why are they doing that? They're leaders. They're supposedly highly respected people. They're judges. They're heads of FBI. How do these people get so rotten?
They were bought and paid for.
That's all right.
The scary thing is,
we have to go after that.
They were bought and paid for a fairly cheap amount of money. If you're going to buy me off, it's going to take a whole lot more than what you did for the Bidens or any of these.
And I thought you couldn't be bought off.
Oh, I can, but the number's pretty damn high.
Oh, well. Mine isn't. I'm off. I can't imagine them offering me anything that I would take. I can't imagine it.
All they have ever offered me, Dave, is advice, and it's not been very good advice. So, yeah, it's a wash. Well, my friend, it has been so enjoyable.
It really is. We have more listeners right now than I've ever had by far.
Is that right?
I don't know what the hell happened.
I don't know. Maybe you took.
I think it has a lot to do with what's going on with Trump. Because I know I've been for Trump since like 2015 2015. I made my decision early to back this guy because I understood him very well. I'm just so pleasantly surprised at all the other stuff that's happening.
This is a place where you can hear facts and opinions labeled as opinions that you might not hear anywhere else. And on occasion, we scoop them. You and I were talking about security clearances a year ago. What did Trump do? 51 security clearances yanked first day. We predicted it. That's the way I would do it if I was him. That's good for you. You got rid of a bunch of dead weight.
Between you and the rabbi and Jeff Zink and the McCloskeys, I get tons of scoops on this show. First ever in the whole journalistic world. You're hearing it on this show. What name a few?
Well, and this was unfortunate, but you pretty much predicted the October 7th attack on Israel hours before it happened.
6 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that and Jeff Zink telling me a couple weeks ago that the J6ers they're going to be let go, and he was dead right. Him being the pick for Robert F. Kennedy to be his main guy to go to. He's going to be the one in Congress now. After running for Congress and getting cheated out of it twice, he's going to be the guy sitting there answering questions from these congressmen.
Isn't that going to be great?
Yeah, from this show. All right, all right, my friend. I know you got a busy day, but it's always fun to talk to you, no matter what. And hi to your lovely bride, Jean. And you take care of yourself, my friend.
It has been my pleasure, Dave. I'll be talking with you next Friday.
You certainly will. Let's hear it for J.J. Bradshaw. Okay, let's read the board. We haven't read the board or anything here. I mean, we're moving. We're moving. Who's this now? Elizabeth. That's who Elizabeth is. Hello, Dave. We did 45 and 47. Maybe I can get you back on the show someday and we can talk about it. Ann Maddox, yay, Jeff. Jeff Zink, I hope. I'm thinking. Who is she? Ann Maddox, sounds familiar.
Yeah, I could have swore that it was one of JJ's relatives. So I wonder if she was talking maybe for him. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So
okay, Ralph Miller. Democrats are more in line with Marxists. Just look at what they stand for, and you know what, Ralph. In about 17 minutes, I'm going to have a guy who's an expert on Marxism. What's the name of his book?
Well, I've got it right here. That's Chris Adamo, and his book is Rules for Defeating Radicals.
Yeah, so you're right in it. Stay tuned because he's got a lot of great stuff and a lot of we go into depth about what it was. And Elizabeth, it was a setup. J6. Oh, yeah, absolutely right. She's from Miami. She's a Latino. Is it Latino or Hispanic? I should ask her next time she's. Trump is going shopping. Yes, Greenland, Panama Canal, Canada. Yes, Canada. Amongst the other things, maybe California. I don't know. Thank goodness for Elon. Yes, great. All right. Well, I guess this is an appearance on the show. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Elizabeth, Obama and Biden are criminals. Yes, they are. You know what? I wonder if I wonder why she came in on a different name. All right.
She would have to speak to this was that because of her she's been very proudly supportive of Trump for all this time, that because of the Biden regime had to maybe be a little more secretive, and now with Trump being back in office can actually have speak your opinion. So
well, now I know she is. I kept seeing these things from Elizabeth. I didn't tie it to her, and then Lewis. I got to talk to her. She's Louis Vero. Yeah, Latinagan.
Maybe she was incognito for a while.
Yeah, I think so. On fire. All right. Well, we'll discuss that later. I can't keep reading her stuff, so let's go to other stuff.
That's
everything.
It. Yeah.
All right. Great. So you don't have to hide yourself. I'll call you. All right. Okay. Thanks. We'll get you on the show. All right. So that covers that. Let's talk about. Let's do commercials. Should we do commercials on now? I don't want to do commercials right now.
We would make sure ask everybody. We've got a good crowd watching, but don't just watch. Comment, like the show, love the show, interact with us because that gives us a better feed.
What were you going to say about likes?
That was it. Please like our show if you're watching
the show.
And like it, and we'd love it if you
where would they
go
follow. To? Just where do they like the show?
The screen right in front of them.
Okay.
It's a little button. You click it.
The thumbs up.
Yep. Yeah, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Not the middle finger.
Or the
thumbs.
Or the love one.
These are thumbs, in case you're wondering. Okay, in case you're from where could that be?
Branson, I guess.
Yeah, Branson. In case you're from Branson, these are the digits you want to see. The thumbs. These are thumbs up. There are other fingers that are a little longer and in the middle, and you don't want those. We don't want those. That's not right. That's not right. You don't want to do that. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so Trump, number 45, 47. He kicked ass with Biden pardons records. Just anything that he did is going to give the Republicans, in my opinion, another year of power. Play that one with, the Jimmy Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Biden awards a Cheney or a Soros, Republicans gain 1 year more of rule. No, that little girl. That
find her.
That's I think it's one of my grandkids.
Well,
I think it's not Lexi, but Violet. It sounds like Violet more than anything. And let's do.
I wouldn't blame Violet for that.
Excuse me.
Poor Violet. I wouldn't blame her for that.
Well, I think it's pretty smart of her to be that cogent. I think that's really smart because that means she knows what's going on in the world, unlike some people in this room. Okay, so let's do. How about Reagan? We got a good one on Reagan, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, hit that.
You already are the oldest president in history, and some of your staff say you were tired after your most recent encounter with Mr. Mondale. I recall yet that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you would be able to function in such circumstances?
Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli. I got about 50 feet out, and suddenly, the great beast appeared before me. I tell you, he was 10 stories high if he was a foot. As if sensing my presence, he let out a great bellow. A huge tidal wave lifted me, tossed me like a cork, and I found myself right on top of him, face to face with the blowhole. I could barely see from the waves crashing down upon me, but I knew something was there. So I reached my hand in, felt around, and pulled out the obstruction. What is that, a title list? A hole in one.
Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to help a guy like Milley? Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said, terrible what he said. Why are we helping some of the people? Why are we helping Liz Cheney? I mean, Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a super crying. I never saw the guy not crying. He's always crying. I looked at him. I remember years ago, he was actually on my side. And then one day, you know, when you don't want to kill people in wars, they turn against you. Liz Cheney hated the concept of not going to war with everybody. Let's kill everybody. Let's spend a lot of money on military equipment, you know, where her father works, right? And but what she did was incredible. Think of it. They destroyed and deleted all of that information that went on for almost 2 years against Trump. And the reason they did, because it was all false. Like the person that said, I tried to strangle a Secret Service agent. That's one of the toughest human beings I think I've ever seen. You are the coolest sucker in history. Remember, she said, I put my hands around his neck because he wouldn't go to the Capitol. Made up fiction. And I was rebuffed. And the guy on the right is a massive weightlifter, probably stronger than me. Do you think he's stronger than me, honey? You know who I'm talking about. Possibly stronger than me. Slightly younger than me, like, I won't say how many years because I don't want to talk about that, but a lot of years. But I had a friend that said, why are you disputing that story? That's the coolest story I've ever heard. That I would attack a karate champion, get slightly rebuffed, and then throw my arms around a guy with a neck about this big.
Now that's Donald Trump at his best. There's no restraints there. Everybody in the room was a Republican, and he has changed, and he said so. And I think a big part of him getting changed was the fact that he got a bullet in his ear that should have killed him, and he knows it. Like an eighth of an inch away from killing him. It was an easy shot from where that guy was. They still don't know the whole story about it because the body was cremated. In other words, there was a lot of hiding of this particular individual after he was killed, and he was in an easy spot to see, an easy spot to have a shot at the president. It was a kick-in putt-like situation where you make it like 99 out of 100 times. It was almost a gimme that he would do a lot more damage to Trump than just his ear, for goodness sakes. That's a big caliber bullet, isn't it?
From what I understand, yes, and it probably would have, if he had landed it, it could have been a kill shot.
Yeah, and this guy went and he practiced a lot and stuff like that. I think his parents testified later about this, and so and then this guy out there in the golf course with his rifle poking through the trees while Trump is playing. I don't know if he was with his granddaughter or not, but what an interesting situation. And then he's getting indicted by everybody, indicted by these idiots. I mean, you can just tell that they were total phony idiots. These are New York prosecutors and AGs, and they're just, it's so obvious that every time they started these charges, Trump would go up 5 points. They got him elected. That's the real deal right there. And so let's talk a little bit about these DEI firings. DEI, what does that stand for?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right. So it has caused so much racial damage. You actually have these firefighters out there. I think it was a transgender. He, she said that. And somebody was protesting about the fact that her husband couldn't get any help. He was stuck in the fire. And the gal said, well, your husband shouldn't have gotten in that position so that we couldn't help him out. We can't carry him out there. In other words, she was admitting that she couldn't do her job, or he was admitting that he couldn't do the job. Well, this is why you don't have that. This is why I don't play for the Boston Celtics. Okay? The Boston Celtics and the average of all these teams is such that, I'm looking here. All right. Well, it's such that they have about 87% of the, or is it over? Yeah, it's about 80-something% of the NBA has blacks on the floor at any one time, on average. Whites are about 18%, and the rest are, Latinos and or. But you get the now they represent 18% of the population. Blacks do. So if you had that in basketball, you would have to say that you'd have to say that they were, we could get rid of the blacks. Now, it used to be that way. It used to be that way. I grant you that. But this is back in the 60s. They started getting people involved, getting black people involved. And in baseball, it's just the opposite. Did you know that only 6.2%, according to stats in 2023, professional baseball were black? That's shocking. It was shocking to me. Over 30% are Latinos, and the rest, 60%, would be white. But the 6.2%, wow, it's just incredible. So it's all over the place, and it should be. Look, you don't want a schmuck like me, 5'3", maybe 5'4" if I stand up straight, on a basketball court trying to entertain you, do you? So hi there, welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I didn't click it because it's saying telemarketer. So
what?
It's saying telemarketer, so it's a spam call.
So spam call.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I wonder if he was there. Sometimes they're there and they want to give you money. Is that right? No, I'm wrong.
They usually want it.
Yeah. So, anyways, this AIA thing was calling they got tons of offices with people that are just trying to legislate this. They got lawyers who are making a fortune off of these complaints. Lawyers are a big problem. I hate to say this, but it's true. They are a huge problem because most of them are drawn into the legal field. They're drawn into the government. And what happens is they not only go into politics, they find things that they can have their fellow lawyers and themselves involved in suing people. Well, you looked the wrong way at that person, or you didn't call them the right name, the woke name, the his, her, I'm a cat, whatever you're supposed to call them, okay? So there's all this litigation that goes on. These lawyers make a fortune. They make a fortune. So what is that? Is that a sign that Chris is on?
It looks like he has joined, but he is working on his camera. I don't see him live yet, so
okay.
I'm waiting until he gets that adjusted.
Yep. No problem. No problemo. Okay. All righty. Well, let's put him on then. AG Bondi's going up for a vote. Marco Rubio, 99 to zip. Wow, that's incredible. All right, well, there's a gentleman right there. And well, I don't want to go that far, though he's not really a gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, this Sicilian man was sent to Wyoming to straighten out political turmoil, or as the FBI states it, Federal Witness Protection Program. He's an author who now he's laughing now. All of a sudden he's laughing. I gave him a lecture about laughing, and now he's laughing. Thank you. You know, it hurt your face when you stopped yourself from laughing before.
You're on a roll this morning, aren't you?
You're not on yet.
Picking on me.
You're not on yet. I'm not done.
I can tell.
Now,
hey, we got stuff to talk about today.
Would you be quiet?
There was a few news items this week that we need to discuss rather than
I'm trying to name your book.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you do that.
I got a new name for you, Schmuck.
No,
okay,
no, I don't. No, I don't appreciate that one.
He's an author. Oh, get over it. He's an author who told Biden to pardon Liz Cheney. Please welcome the expert on Marxism to the Dave Weinbaum Show, Chris Adamo. All right, what do you want to talk? I got plenty.
So, first thing I have to correct the record. I'm not an expert on Marxism. I'm an expert on how do you defeat the efforts of the Marxists and the Alinsky. I used to come into the country and manipulate us. And I'm telling you, this past week, we're seeing major headway. Thank God for the events of the past week.
And I don't understand quite the criticism of that. I mean, that's Marxism. You're an expert on that.
I'm not a really astute Marxist. I'm able to spot the dirty tricks and lies of Marx and go after them. Those are two different things.
But it makes you an expert on recognizing who Marxists are.
Yeah, yep.
Which is the kind of like communism, right?
Kind of like communism, yeah. It's kind of, that's like saying Liz Cheney is kind of like a lefty pawn. Well, yeah, absolutely. So
well, it leads to communism, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. That's the whole goal, and it's promoted through lies and manipulations.
Right.
And when you become an expert on the lies and manipulations, you can stop the Marxists. And I'm telling you, big things going on this week.
Name the major ones.
Well, obviously, we've had the inauguration. I honestly didn't know what dirty tricks they might pull to try and keep that from happening.
Yeah, me neither. I was aghast at that. I was a little nervous.
I'll tell you something. Since it's interesting, since they actually painted themselves into a corner because Donald Trump didn't, for the last 4 years, go on the defensive. Okay, he never did, not once. He didn't say, okay, I shouldn't have said the election was stolen. No, it was stolen in 2020. Okay,
right.
He didn't apologize. The whole come January 6th of this year, again, people were suspecting that the Democrats were going to try and impede the whole verification process of the Electoral College. And you have lots of Democrats that wanted to. However, after all of their stinking sanctimony about January 6, 2021, it's like they had to color really closely inside the lines because their hypocrisy was glaring the whole time. And so if they tried anything on January 6th, it was going to be obvious. Okay, so they had literally painted themselves into a corner where they had to do all the right things.
Yeah.
And during the whole inauguration process, they were walking on eggshells, and that's a good thing. We're not the ones that should be so worried about seeming to do the wrong thing.
They had a riot set for the day before the inauguration. I think it was the 19th, and they had this group out there, and most of them were from the gay group. I think they were expecting a lot more blacks in there.
Oh, they were expecting a lot more everybody. The one thing that the left does, they've always done this. They did it with the voting machines in 2020. They did it with the major media for years. They always come out and they show themselves as we are the mainstream.
Yeah.
And you know, those little right-wing extremist, meanie, nasty people, those are just the fringe. We're the mainstream. And yet you look even even Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals, he didn't call it Rules for the Mainstream. He called it Rules for Radicals, admitting with that title that they are the fringe, okay?
Right.
The election, the way it happened, it was an absolute stunner to the left with all the dirty tricks they had planned, all the lawfare that they had planned, all of the media propaganda, the fake news propaganda that they had planned, and the American people told them no.
And all the cheating they actually did.
Yeah.
Ask Jeff Zink about the election in Arizona. 70-30, he loses twice in a row, the same exact mark right there. And was it Katie Lake?
Katie Hobbs?
Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake. Yeah, you mixed them up. Katie Hobbs is the Democrat that's
right.
The phony governor of Arizona. And I'm all with Jeff. We need to investigate, and that Maricopa County, the supervisors that were obviously colluding to twist the vote.
It's all been done, and it's all been. I've seen the trials. The judges are in on it.
Oh, absolutely. It is.
Well, obviously, the guy that was running the GOP was in on it, because Jeff Zink sent me the tapes of the head of the GOP talking on the phone to Lake and telling her that he can get her some money if she drop out of the race from the East Coast.
Yeah.
In other words, a bribe. They were bribed.
They thought that would be easier to do that than to steal another election. So
what happened? They ended up having to steal it because this guy had disappeared.
But you know what? We've got Kash Patel, who's going to be the new FBI director.
Sure,
we are going to be investigating these things. And the number one thing that our side needs to do, the number one push right now, and I'll take you back 25 years to a comment by George W. Bush that is like, this is the death knell to our efforts. If anybody listens to this garbage, he used the term back then, compassionate conservatism. I've seen the push already this week that, okay, they were nasty for the last 4 years. So what we've got to do is show them we're better than that. We got to be nice to them. No, you know what? They broke the law for the last 4 years. And the nicest thing we can do is throw the criminals in jail.
Last 4 years?
Well, yeah, okay.
No,
you're right. It goes well beyond that.
It's a ton more than that.
Okay. But my point is that when you look at the absolute, the vile filth that they did to America during these last 4 years in this phony administration, the last thing we need to do is to let bygones be bygones and be nice people, because all you do if you do that is leave that cancer in place.
Yeah.
We're not looking for vengeance. You know, I go back to scripture. God says vengeance is his, not mine. We're looking for justice.
Yeah, but you got to have justice. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, it's going to.
You're leaving a cancerous tumor in place.
It's going to, interpret itself as unstoppable, and it's going to grow.
And that's how they've done it for so many years. That is exactly how they advance themselves. And
I hate to say you're right, but you're right.
Well, I'm always right. That's why you have me on here.
Okay.
So,
who said that? I'm sorry. Did I say that? No, I didn't. You can't say that on air, can you? Bullshit.
So I've got, like I said, I've got a bunch of things to talk about, but I don't want to.
In other words, I wrote up all this damn stuff for you.
Well, that's what I want to go. Let's go through all your stuff, and then when we're done with that in 5 minutes, then we'll get back to the important stuff.
I worked on this. Okay, DEI. Is that encouraging racial hatred, or did it stop it?
The whole DEI thing was a leftist attempt. It's divide and conquer. It's all about ignoring people's inherent qualifications and looking at them as little tokens based on race, gender, and whatever other things they want. Personal behavior, whatever they wanted to do. It had nothing to do with qualifications. It's the kind of thing that it undermines private business, and it can only thrive in a government where they really don't care if they get anything properly done or not. It is absolute bigotry. It is absolute discrimination, and needs to get out of there. And I'll give you an example.
Your answer is it does not help race relations. It hurts.
Absolutely. Well, let's go back to people looking on the screen. My book up there in the corner. Let's go back to the fact that I always hammer on leftist never care about any cause they claim to champion. It's always a matter of using the plight of somebody else or the circumstance to advance their agenda. Leftists aren't about elevating people. Leftists are about dividing people so that people think they're helpless, they're victims, they need to go put their hands out and ask for help from the Democrats. Okay, so no, you're absolutely right. It was not about helping anybody.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
I say that a lot, Dave. I say you're absolutely right.
Oh, only when I'm saying nice things to you. Though.
No, when you're saying the right thing. I always say that. See, you're wrong now. See, you're misquoting me. So
that sounds more familiar than that. So you get 60%. I mean, if you look at the range of where race is like diverse, not diverse, but it's really what it ought to be. The National Basketball Association,
and that's an excellent example.
It's 60% of the workforce is white, and the blacks, it's 18%, and yet the population of the NBA is
don't you think
it's like about 79% or something like that. Black.
Don't you think we should have at least 10% of the NBA being short white lesbians in order to make sure that we have?
Of course not. I mean, look, I'm not in favor of that.
Right.
I love basketball.
That's my point. You want to watch a good basketball game.
Damn right.
You don't want to watch people being
since I was 6 years old.
You're not wanting to watch people being treated as tokens, and that's what DEI does.
Good sports when I see it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it because I tried. Believe me, I got out there and played pickup games.
And again,
it wasn't my thing.
There's another movement going on, and it's going to happen big time with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. They suddenly realized that 90% of these government employees that were hired because they were this color or that height or this behavior in the bedroom or whatever, 90% of them don't even show up for work. Okay,
Yeah,
what does that tell you about the job that they're doing, the money we're spending on them? It's a welfare program.
Yeah, and Trump, it's a buy a vote program, and Trump said you're either coming to work or we're letting you go.
And
so that's going to be great, and probably a lot of them are going to be let go because they're going to get a little money to stay home for a while, and then you're going to have a big problem.
And they need to be sent home. They need to be gotten out of there. There's a lot that need to be gotten out of there because they're dead weight. There's a lot that I say it this way: if you send those people home, I'm talking about particular ones at the DOJ, at the FBI, and we can go through the other government departments. You send some of those people home. You do it making sure they're wearing an ankle bracelet because we need to bring them back later and find out who did what. Because if I come into your McDonald's there and I do something that deprives you of life, liberty, or property, that's a criminal attack, and I need to go to jail for that. These people did that exact thing to innocent Americans. They deprived them of life, liberty, and property by maliciously weaponizing the so-called justice system, throwing innocent people in jail. The person doing that needs to be investigated, and they're the ones that need to be indicted.
Who are they hurting? They're hurting the people, the very people they say should be treated equally, basically, than everyone else, because now they don't have to do anything because they have the race card in their hand, and the government supports that.
Yeah, it's been on the basis of race.
How come they get it absolutely right on that one?
Well, no, because I'm talking more about, and I understand the race component. I'm talking about the ideology component to it. When you throw people in jail because you don't like what they're saying, you have just spit on the First Amendment. And this is what was going on for the past 4 years. And yes, much longer. I agree with that. But it was on overdrive the past 4 years because the goal was for them to get themselves past November. And I've heard several people say it, and I agree. If they had managed to steal the election again in November, that would have been the end of America. We were at that juncture. That didn't happen. So,
all right, who does Marxism and communism? Who makes the most? Who gets the biggest payoff? off of that?
There are several answers to that. One of them, I would say, obviously, the big bureaucrats, and we're seeing that with all these people going to Congress. That they go there, they have $175,000 salary in a very expensive part of the country, and yet they're multimillionaires after a couple of terms. But overall, if you look at it, it's always the most corrupt because it's a corrupt system. The honest people don't thrive in a corrupt system. The corrupt people do.
I say to the lawyers.
There's
they get
corrupt lawyers. I guess.
Think about this DEI
potato. You're right.
Oh wait, he didn't call me the right surname. He didn't call me the woke name.
Yeah.
I'm suing.
Yep.
They're getting all of these, and they're winning these stupid lawsuits because the judges are in it too.
We have again. I told people, yes, we were thanking God. We were rejoicing on Monday. We survived the last 4 years. But what I've said is that was not VE Day, Victory in Europe Day. That was actually D-Day. And we made it onto Omaha Beach and we established the beachhead and we got a major war ahead of us. And the nonsense that they're pulling this week, excuse me, is proof of that. And there's two major issues that I'd like to talk about that just so perfectly characterize the nature of the situation we're in. One of them is Elon Musk going, my heart, whoops, wrong way. My heart goes out to you. Okay.
Right.
Oh,
wait,
that's a Nazi salute.
A Jew doing it. Hold on, wait. Well, they got a Jew doing it.
And the best response that I saw to that. Yeah. Best response I saw to that was that all of these leftists had to take time out from supporting Hamas, screaming death to Israel. They had to take time out from that to start calling Elon Musk a Nazi.
Yeah.
Okay. The hypocrisy of these people is glaring.
Well, of course.
Okay. And this is, again, I'll point up here to my book here, chapter 2 and 3. I talk about hypocrisy. You know, if all kidding aside, if you and I realize that we're being disingenuous or we've misquoted something, we want to fix that because our movement, our agenda is based on honesty. Leftists don't have that same thing. For them, hypocrisy is not a liability. Hypocrisy is a way of them establishing one set of standards to hold you, to make you tiptoe while they can go and run rampant because they don't abide by those same standards. Okay. So yeah, the hypocrisy of everybody screaming about Elon Musk in between their support for Hamas and they're screaming death to Israel and death to the Jews and all of these truly anti-Semitic monstrous things that they've been doing. Okay. The hypocrisy is glaring. Now here's the key. In the past, our side has not acknowledged the hypocrisy as the underlying thing. And we have tried to, in the past, you would have heard responses like, well, Elon Musk should have been a little more careful before he waved at everybody. And, it didn't look real good. And at that point, we're on the defensive and we're apologizing when we never should apologize over a thing like that. At that point, they're on their phony moral high ground. Okay. That didn't happen this week. Elon Musk.
They got pictures of Liz Warren and Bernie doing this. Okay, come on.
Yeah, right. And I'm all over the place. These people,
Nazis, they're stupid, and they are liberal idiots.
They're leftists. But the point is that was not a Nazi salute. We know it. They know it. And guess what? They know that we know it. The only thing they hope is that there's enough cowards left on our side to start apologizing.
People, quite frankly, who don't bother to check things.
Well, there's that, but there's also the cowards. You know what? I don't want to look bad. I don't want to sound mean. So if they're calling me mean, I better tiptoe for them.
Right.
Okay. And this is the Alinsky strategy. This is if I can put you on defensive on any grounds whatsoever, I win. Okay.
Yep.
You're a rich business owner and I'm starving. And so I need to be able to walk into your establishment and steal food from people because otherwise you're not compassionate. If I can lay that guilt trip on you, and I know you wouldn't fall for it, Dave. I have
laws that abide by this. In California, you can steal up to $950.
Yeah, and what happens to those businesses? They shut down.
They have to.
Why did they shut down? Well, because they're racist. Okay, and the nonsense continues. But going back to Elon Musk, his first response to that whole Nazi salute thing, he put up one of those little emojis. It was a guy yawning. It was, is this all you people really have?
Yeah.
And that's the right response to it. Here's
Yeah.
the thing, though. We need to understand that you've heard the term the death by 1,000 cuts. That's the mode that the left is in at this point. It's if Trump says anything, they're going to look for something to criticize it. Okay, the fact that he's speaking the truth, the fact that he's going to reopen up the drill baby drill oil wells and everything, we're going to have energy, we're going to have a burgeoning economy. We don't talk about that. We talk about Melania didn't look like she was happy in this picture or something. This is what they go to.
But it's not working anymore.
It isn't working anymore.
It isn't working. They're laying off people today as we speak at CNN.
Yep.
I mean, they're losing tons of business at MSNBC.
I'll tell you two things I'd like to see happen in relation to that. I would like to see the actual people on social media who actually have a following, who actually have a viewership, going into the White House press briefings and getting prominent spots, and the old legacy media like CNN and MSNBC that has their tiny handful of little devoted lefty followers, put them in the back of the room. And then step two is if any of them does like that CNN reporter did, like Jim Acosta used to do, if any of them stands up and you got a question to ask, I'll answer the question. You want information, I'll give you information. But the minute you stand up and try and use that as an opportunity to pontificate from the back of the room about what you think, and you're going to make a statement that's actually an attack, you know what? You've got a First Amendment right to free speech, but I don't have any responsibility. I don't have any obligation to listen to you. You can go stand out on the street corner, spew your leftist nonsense all you want. I'll protect your right to do it, but I'm not going to listen to it in here. Out you go.
Jim Acosta, speaking of him, they put him on a almost on his way out on a midnight show or something like that. And they got some guy on there, and he started giving him crap. Acosta did. This guy shut him down.
Oh, did he? I haven't seen that one.
I'm telling you, he's on his way out.
Yeah, and they all should be. There's a couple of things to watch out for now. We do have an awful lot of leftists that are going, okay, for the moment, we need to pander. We talked about Zuckerberg. He's going to try and be Trump's best buddy after all that he did. He $500 million that he spent 4 years ago. And then
it's not just him, they're all doing that. They're all there to kiss the ring. Apple.
Yep. And I would say that I do believe that Trump overwhelmingly has wisened up to this stuff and doesn't trust these people, because he went in. I don't know if you remember Reince Priebus, the former RNC chair, total rhino. Trump made him chief of staff. Total disaster. It's like you put an enemy at your back in war. It's going to be a disaster.
He had a lot of them, and he didn't. He admits that he just didn't. He didn't. He's never been a politician.
Well, he tries to deal directly with people.
He trusted other people. But look at him now. He has learned. This man has learned.
Okay, now we had one major backfire on that this week that it should not have happened.
Which is that?
That was the National Cathedral. Okay, you go to the Episcopal. And I'm sorry if there's Episcopals listening that don't want to hear this, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. The Episcopal Church is no longer biblical. They're a leftist front organization. They've been infiltrated, corrupted. Okay, so the Episcopal National Cathedral, you go in there and you have a lesbian woman bishop. Talk about DEI crap. A lesbian woman bishop
objecting to the stoppage of DEI.
Say that again now.
She agrees with DEI.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
Yeah, in other words, but there's a thing that says we're dropping this sucker.
Yeah, well, and if the Episcopals want to do it, they're free to, because we have a First Amendment freedom of religion. But here's the thing: real Christians have the right to say, I'm not going to an Episcopal church because it's no longer Christian. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all of that aside, they should have, the Trump administration, I guarantee you they did some questioning afterwards. They should have been aware and forewarned that when you have this kind of a setup, you're going to hear leftist bilge water. You're not going to hear anything biblical. You're going to hear leftist bilge water and Marxism and moral perversion masquerading as something Christian. And sure enough, that's exactly what we heard. Shouldn't have happened. They need to be aware. Any invitations they get to any events, they need to be thoroughly vetted. And there's plenty of good Christian pastors and people like that out there. I'll mention Jack Hibbs out of Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, California. He's prayed before the U.S. Congress, made all the lefties mad. There's lots of good people like this. If we're going to have a Christian event, a church invocation, anything like that, make sure the person doing it is not a lefty lunatic. Make sure there's somebody that is firmly rooted in Scripture and what it says, and we're going to speak the truth. We're not going to speak Marxism masquerading as something biblical.
All right. Well, listen to me. I got 3 out of 7 questions asked, and I got to
let's go for it.
I have to do a commercial, okay? And then I got the McCloskeys are going to be on next, and then Jeff Zink. How's that?
Tell hey, Jeff needs to call me. Tell him he's supposed to call me back, and he hasn't done it yet.
Okay, I'll try. Yeah, let me add that. Why don't I just set up a little?
I have great faith in you, Dave. I have great faith in you.
Write a little note on here, and listen, all of my intelligence is sapping right now because you're such a brilliant guy. Sorry, something's wrong with my throat there. All right, so other than the DW.net, where can people find and buy your book?
Okay, still at Amazon, still the needed guidebook for people on our side to understand who leftists are, how they operate, and therefore, when they try and play their little dirty tricks and lay their snares, we understand how to avoid the snares and effectively fight them and overcome them.
All right. Lisa told me to take up gardening.
Lisa told you to take up gardening.
Yeah. So I went out and got plowed. Hey, look at him. Look. He can't even smile.
I guess I was waiting for the punchline.
He went out and got plowed.
Oh, that was the punchline. Oh, okay.
Plowing, gardening. Oh, gosh.
You're just digging yourself in deeper, Dave.
Digging myself in deeper. All right. You are the official schmuck to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Thank you so much, Chris. All right.
You guys keep fighting a good fight and on to victory.
Yes. Shabbat shalom, my friend. All right. See ya. All right, let's do commercials.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in 1 word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the #1 sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we are committed to providing exceptional service to our customers. We do more than just provide loans for our community. We help make dreams become reality. Whether it's a new home, farm, business, or a new car, we would love the opportunity to help. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly lending team remind you how special hometown banking can be. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a very, very big, nice surprise. I've got 2 of my favorite people here. Their house was raided a couple years ago by Antifa and BLM, led by former Congresswoman. They had 1 rifle, 1 pistol between them. They are heroes to America because they stood up for their rights. And I think they were just at the Trump inauguration. They're big favorites of Tucker Carlson, of all people. Please welcome Mark and Patricia McCloskeys. McCloskeys. Hi. How the hell are you?
Well, I was listening to your ads while we were in the backstage, and plank termite control. Wouldn't the termites eat the plank?
Oh my God! No, he walks the plank. He walks the plank and fishes. Yeah, there he goes. All right, so good one. Yeah, there we go. All right, you're starting out with the jokes. That's why I like you people. You know, you're funny.
Well, I can't let you get all the one-liners in there.
There you go. All right, no. I'm accepting applications to be comedians on my show, and you're already hired. Both of you, you're both funny. Anyways, were you at the inauguration?
We weren't. We were supposed to be up there as guests of Congressman Bob Onder, and then he called us up and said, once we got moved inside, all of our tickets were worthless, including his. He said he didn't even know if he could get in, and we would just have to stand in line like everybody else. And people like I think our Lieutenant Governor Dave Wassinger stood in line for like 10 hours to get in to the arena, and then be one of 20,000 people watching it on the jumbotron.
Yeah, I mean, it was just as fun watching it at home. And quite frankly, the inauguration speech was not anywhere near as good as the speech he gave afterwards.
Yeah.
I've got the whole clip of that. Let me play a couple of clips from it, and we'll talk about that for a little bit. How about 7 and 8?
Even though there are bars, you can't really do that anyway. So I wanted to talk about that. But all of that stuff got deleted. And the reason it got deleted is they were all caught in lies. Secret Service testified, and they said it didn't happen. Actually, the two guys were very embarrassed. They're suffering because their friends are saying, did Trump really do that to you? But they gained a whole new respect for me. But it was just make-believe stuff. And there were a lot of make-believe stories made up. So rather than suffer the wrath, like the story with Nancy Pelosi, I offered her 10,000 soldiers. She knows it. She admitted it on tape that her daughter made. She's a videographer or whatever you call her, which I'm glad she is. Oh, she can't be in good stead with Nancy. But Nancy said it was my responsibility as she's leaving the Capitol. She said it was, and it was. She's in charge of security at the Capitol. But I offered them up to 10,000 soldiers. J6 wouldn't be J6. There would have been no J6. But she rebuffed them. She didn't like it. No, she didn't like it. Maybe she wanted that to happen. But she's guilty as hell. And now we would have to go through the process because they destroyed all evidence. They deleted everything. There's virtually nothing left. The other fake story and so many other fake stories. And many people came out on our side. And those people now, we've got to find them. There's nothing left. So that's a criminal offense. If that were a civil case, it would be a criminal offense. If that happened civilly where you did that, it would be a criminal offense. So I decided I'm not going to make this speech complicated. I'm going to make it beautiful. I'm going to make it a unifying speech. And then when they said we have a group of people that are serious Trump fans, I said, this is the time to tell those stories.
How good that was. Now, Nancy Pelosi was not pardoned.
No,
Biden didn't pardon her. I don't think he pardoned. He didn't pardon himself.
Yeah.
What does that say to you?
Well, I know why he didn't pardon Nancy Pelosi, because he's still pissed at her for forcing him out and wants to see her rot in prison. It's a funny thing. It's so funny you were talking about it. Were we there when Trump was making that second speech? He's talking about Texas and Governor Abbott. And then sitting there in the overflow room. Even the governor of Texas couldn't get into the inauguration.
Well, he's looking around. He starts talking about him, and all of a sudden he turns his head and he says, "Oh, wait, I got to stop for a moment." Talking about the Texas governor, and I thought I could have said anything because I didn't see him there. I could have said, "Well, he's not doing a really good job, and he's got problems." And this, I couldn't imagine him being here. What's the matter? You couldn't get down in the front row? He's talking to a guy in a wheelchair, by the way. But that speech was something.
Yeah,
that speech. So
it really was.
TV just like me, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the guy. He's 10 years older than I am, which makes him like 45 minutes younger than you. And he gets up. He's got to go to church in the morning. Then he's got to go to tea with the ex-president. Then he's got to go get inaugurated. Then he's got to go to a rally. Then he's got to go to 3 different balls, the last of which he didn't get to till midnight, right?
Yeah.
And during which he's signing 200 proclamations and executive orders. on television in front of
With the full
20,000
press
people.
in the room. With the full press in the room, he's doing this. He's signing. Oh, that's a good one right there. You know, we're going to find out what happened to JFK and Martin Luther King and Robert RFK. We're going to find all that out now. You have a question? Yes. How about you? I mean, it's amazing what he does.
Yeah. And he's got Will Sharp in the background, right, handing him the executive orders to sign. And he's trying to tell the president what he's signing, right? But Peter Doocy and everybody else is asking him so many questions, he can't even get out what it is he's signing.
Wait, Peter Doocy, while he was there, says, Mr. President, did you get a note from Biden? And the president says, what?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, wait a minute. I know what you're talking about. He looks in the drawer and he finds the note from Biden. It happens to be a custom to do that. That was amazing. That was just incredible.
Oh,
He reads the note. Oh my God. Anyways, can you believe how disengaged or like disturbed the Democratic Party is right now? Pat, what about you?
Well, I mean, they still keep saying that, oh, this is so terrible what he's doing, and they're not on board. They've never got the memo that this is what people want. They say this is not what people want. It's crazy that even after all this, even after all these votes, they think he's going the wrong direction.
Well, I don't think it's that, because it's pretty well proven that he won this election overwhelmingly.
But I endure the Morning Joe and all those shows, and they're saying, "Oh, he's not doing anything the people want." I mean, they're still selling. They said maybe what we need to do is tell them better, sell our side of it better. But this is not what they want.
The American people are too stupid to have learned their lesson, and they're going to have to re-educate us as to why Trump is bad, and they're right.
Well, that's what we're here for. You got a show, I got a show. We're not making a fortune on the shows. Well, maybe JP is, but come on. We love the country. We're here to say this. I've been saying this for this is my 17th year now, and it's important that people like us keep in the fight, knowing full well that we're going to be pushed around. You're going to be shadow banned and other things. You're going to be told you're an idiot. And that's just my wife. Gee. So you think about what the mainstream media is doing to me. My God.
Well, I saw on the web right before he came on that they're already working up the third impeachment.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, after all, he's a convicted felon.
Yeah.
He didn't.
And of course, there's also a congressman, I forget which one, introduced a proposed constitutional amendment today to allow him to run for a third term.
To what?
The congressman, I can't remember which one, introduced a proposed constitutional amendment today to allow Trump to run for a third term.
I think he should. I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have 3 consecutive ones, you can step out for one term and then come back in for 2. So.
Wait a minute. Is that true?
That's not now, but it would be if this constitutional amendment.
That's the one they're gonna. I think there's. I think who at this point does not know that 2020 was completely cheated on.
Oh, but you're wrong. You're wrong, Dave. I saw on 3 different broadcasts yesterday that different cabinet posts were being nominees were promoting the big lie that there was voter fraud in 2020.
You saw that yesterday?
Yeah.
What, are you watching the cartoons again? Yeah, is he watching cartoons? He getting his political advice from the cartoons? Come on.
Oh, goodness.
Come on, Mark. What the hell's going on with that?
We love this morning. We saw that our who lost his security clearance.
Yeah, who was it? Mike Pompeo.
All the 51 lawyers that signed on to there is Trump. There is no big deal. It's a Russian hoax that Hunter has a laptop implicating his father. That's a Russian hoax. Remember that?
Yeah, and Mike Pompeo has lost his Secret Service detail that was costing $1 million a month. We were just saying this morning, wouldn't it be fun if he cut Fauci's Secret Service protection?
Well, there's an interesting story about Fauci, and that is that one of the requests to have a peace. Now they're going to try to negotiate a peace between Putin and Zelensky, right?
Yeah.
And Putin is demanding that Fauci be extradited to Russia because of all the deaths, the human deaths that happened because they were told to take the vaccines, the COVID vaccines. Isn't that interesting?
I'll buy him the plane ticket myself.
I'll go a quarter. Hey, I'm Jewish. Otherwise, I would have gone a half. Give me a break. My God.
Oh goodness.
You know what the difference between a Jew and a canoe is?
What's that?
A canoe tips. All right, you got your. Now I can tell Catholic jokes too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I almost lost one of my favorite Jewish friends many years ago, and I said, you know, the difference is that Jesus saves, but Moses invests.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. The rabbi keeps telling me, you know, every time I mention the fact about these beepers and these phone things that these guys were getting killed with, and every time we talk about that and how brilliant it was, that they didn't kill any or maybe one or two of the citizens that were standing by. He says, and you know, Dave, we made money on it too. We made a fortune. What do you know from funny, you bastards? That's from Eddie Murphy. No, I wasn't calling you bastards. Well, maybe. Anyways, so Leo Terrell, do you know him?
Only from television. I've never met him.
Well, he's got a big job now. He's with the DOJ with the Civil Rights Commission.
Yeah.
Under Harmeet Dillon.
Under Harmeet Dillon, and you know we're now collecting up J6 hostages for compensation. In fact, at noon today, our time, Enrique Tarrio is doing a press conference. He's a friend of ours.
I know his mother. I talked to his mother on the show.
Yeah, Suni. Yeah, they're doing a big press conference down in Miami today at 1:00 Eastern time, and you know, he said yesterday that the president can say what he wants to about not wanting retribution, but Enrique wants retribution. He wants all these people that falsely imprisoned him to go to jail.
Can you blame him?
No, not at all.
Hell no.
Not at all.
You know,
well,
and that came from Jeff Zink about a week or two ago that they were going to release the 1/6ers immediately.
Yeah. And
I didn't know that was going to happen then. I mean, it was on the show.
It happened so fast. I mean, I got on the horn as soon as the president signed that proclamation, signed that executive order. I got on the phone with the J6ers that I'm friends with, and they were like getting released from prison like right that minute. I mean,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So did they cooperate, or were there some of them that were kept over by zealous politicians and or police and or guards?
Well, I think some of them were held over for a day or two until the prison guards could figure out whether, you know, what they were supposed to do. But I think it's been, I mean, I haven't talked to Ryan Zink since then, but I know that, for example, Derek Evans texted me back almost immediately saying that he got pardoned, he's out, you know, this just happened instantly.
85 people, I think, did not get pardoned. I think there's still 85 in.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So why are they in? I mean, Trump said it was going to be about 100%.
Yeah. So I guess there are some people that there may have been, in his opinion, some legitimate criminal charges. I haven't seen the list yet.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they end up getting pardoned as well.
Now they supposedly had about 2,000 of government people at the J6 event. Most of them from the three-letter people, you know, Defense Department and DOJ, CIA, places like that, FBI.
Well, you know, Christopher Wray, Anthony Blinken, all these guys, Merrick Garland, these guys all need to get prosecuted. They all need to go to this.
Now, have they been? I don't think they've been exonerated. They haven't been pardoned.
No, they haven't been pardoned, so they're all fair game. But you know, even the people that have been pardoned, this is what Congress needs to do. Congress needs to call them in, subpoena them, put them in front of the Congress, and have them testify. And if they lie again, then they get to go to prison.
And they can't not answer and be accused of law, because they don't have the right to the Fifth Amendment, right?
Except for if there's possible state charges that could still be brought, then they could still use it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there are state charges that could be brought, but
So what's going to happen to Trump's cases?
Well, you know, I think that he will win on appeal the 34 felony convictions.
Yeah.
I think he'll win. I think he'll get a reversal on appeal on the $450 million judge-tried case over the bank loans where nobody lost a penny. In fact, Deutsche Bank said, "We do it again. We made money." You know, go figure. You know, you go into an account, you borrow money, you pay back everything plus interest, and then you get charged $450 million by the government plus interest for the honor of having made your bankers money.
What kind of people would bring cases like this? What kind of people? I'll tell you what kind. And I hate to say this, lawyers. Come on. You ever bring cases like that? You know it's BS.
No. But you know, a lot of people we know as lawyers do.
Yeah,
make a lot of money doing it.
Exactly. That's why, you know, the relationship between government and lawyers, there's a problem there. Would you agree?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and we've been saying this for 4.5 years since we got charged.
Yeah. Look at you. You are a prisoner of your own occupation.
Absolutely. And here's the problem. You get these prosecutors, state prosecutors, which have been bought by George Soros, who Biden gave the Medal of Freedom to. But they get in jurisdictions like St. Louis and Washington, D.C., where the jury pool hates you just for being white, hates you just for being a Republican, and will convict you of anything. So they can trump up these totally bogus charges, total BS, put you in front of a jury, and the jury will hammer you to the end of your life just because of who you are and not having nothing to do with the law or fact. And then you got to count on the Court of Appeals, to be honest. And there's some places where they're politicized too.
Sure.
Then you got to wait till you get to the United States Supreme Court. And by then you're broke and you're 5 years older.
There you go.
I mean, in our case, it was not cheap. The average human being couldn't afford it.
I avoided those kinds of charges anyways. I don't know how, because I'm saying exactly what I felt all these years. Now, I did get sacked by, you know, people like Facebook, and they did hurt the show somewhat, but I never got totally boxed out. You know, I was punished by Twitter a couple times.
Yeah.
You know,
like I got my whole radio station banned on YouTube for a while for the indiscretions I said, meaning telling the truth.
See, what I'm discovering is that I know how to go just right up to the limit, and then I sort of taper down, and I just keep doing that, and they get bored with me after a while. You know, see, you ought to call me when you have something to say and I won't charge you much, but you ought to call me for some advice about, you know, how to say it, what to say, and all that. And I'll help you out.
Yeah.
I'll be cheap. Don't worry. I'll work for a meal.
There was an alderman in the city of St. Louis whose price for his bribe was buying him lunch. And so you get whatever you want for a free lunch. And
like in a sandwich joint too. We're not talking a nice lunch.
It was a good lunch or not a nice lunch?
Restaurant.
You know,
pickles, Caesar shop.
The hell, if it's coming for that, it's worth it, isn't it? I mean, there's all sorts of deals you can make with people, isn't there? That's what I've discovered.
Yeah.
You know what? You can always talk to people if there's a problem, and usually you can work it out for the most part.
We had a neighbor who had a big party. We bought a big house on our street, had a big party. And
his invitation he sent out to his party says, I've just recently learned that if you spread enough money around, you can get lots of friends in politics.
It doesn't matter which side you're on. I have so and so coming to the house, a congressman or somebody, and don't worry if you're not on the same party. Money talks. So come to the party.
See,
you
know,
said
I don't want to live like that. I don't know why. I don't want to go to parties and stuff like that. I just, I went to Jamaica for a week. What was it? Yeah. Missed 2 shows, which was devastating at first, but it was a good thing to do just to get away. I haven't done that all 16 years I've been doing this. Maybe one show here and there, but it was pretty good. I came back to this crap on the golf course. It's still frozen. I mean, it's been frozen for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
for 2 weeks. And so I called up the country club, and guy answers the phone there. He works there. I says, "Is it Carpath only today?" And he says, "Who is this?" I says, "Well, it's Weinbaum." He says, "Are you out of your mind?" I says, "Yeah, I need to play some golf. Damn it, do something." And he hung up on me. True story. Just it's so painful not to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's a part of my health. Going outside and playing golf.
Well, we've not done it, but I can tell you this. This weather has kept all of our animals in their stalls for 2.5 weeks. Everybody's going stir crazy. I can't let my chickens out, or the foxes will eat them.
Oh, so they're getting hungry, the foxes, I bet you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, so Trump's put 10,000 troops at the border, or he's putting them there, and 200 executive orders, most signed during the press conferences that we talked about. And have you seen anything like this before? Have anyone ever seen anything like this before?
No, but I'll tell you, I'm a little disappointed. Tom Holman's a friend of ours. He's been on the program. We see him from time to time. And I asked him up at the convention last summer, said, how long is it going to take to close the border? And he says, the president wants me to do it in 30 days, but it's going to take 90. But he also said that they're going to start mass deportations on day one. Well, so far, it's only been about 570 people. I was kind of hoping that in the time between the election and inauguration, they'd have earmarked 10,000 people for immediate deportation. So maybe they're ramping up, but I think that their heart's in the right place, but maybe they're getting such blowback. I saw the mayor of Chicago on television this morning. I think they're going to fight back against it, right?
He's going to fight back. He's going to fight, right?
Yeah.
He's going to fight federal troops.
Isn't that the definition of insurrection?
I got to see this.
Yeah.
Man. All right, look, I got this. I got Jeff Zink on. Do you want to hang out for this? This should be pretty good.
Just for a couple of minutes. We've got a pretty full day, but I do want to talk to Jeff.
All right. Well, we're going to get that accomplished. First off, I got to just close it down with you just a little bit. Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people listen to your show?
Well, I'm on News
and
Talk.
Hire you.
Yeah, and hire me. I'm on News Talk SC on Sunday afternoons from 5 to 6. I'm on at McCloskey USA on X. You can catch it live there. You can do all the playbacks. I'm on Rumble at Mark McCloskey on Fire. If you need a lawyer, it's McCloskeylaww.com. And we've been doing serious personal injury and death cases. I'm now, as of January the 16th, 40 years of doing this for a living.
And there's 2 lawyers there. 2.
Yeah, 2. And so you add in her 38 years. What's that? 78 years of legal experience here.
The same age as you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Weinbaum? Yeah.
Wait a minute. 38 years? I can't believe you said that even. You're in trouble. I'll tell you that. You're out of your mind. Did you hear about the deaf mailman who went postal?
No.
No, don't worry about it. He used a silencer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from McCloskeys, and now we've got my next guest, who is very interesting. He is a scoop machine, and also what a road he has taken. He's a kinesiologist, pastor, Trump appointed to second in command to RFK on HHS. He is God anointed and annoying as well. Please welcome my friend, Jeff Zink. Okay, like everything on this show, everybody's connected. So the McCloskeys want to talk to you, Jeff. Can you hear me?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, you're on.
So how's Ryan feel about being pardoned?
He loves it. His probation officer was treating him as if he was a felon when his felony was removed. He told him that on January 20th that he could not go anywhere, and my son said sure. And so he left and went to Fort Worth to pick up J6ers out of prison there, and totally ignored the probation officer. And it's like, you know what? Find me. If you can find me, you can arrest me. You know, basically the attitude. And so he was in Fort Worth. He picked up several J6ers. I went to Safford where Ryan was at. I picked up two J6ers and then brought them back to Phoenix and put one on a plane heading back to Seattle. It's first time in 4 years that he is one of the very first ones that was arrested, was never released, was in isolation. And then he even got, so this is what they did to him. They actually at one point, the guards threw him in in prison, you're segregated. So you have the blacks together, the Hispanics, the whites, and so they're all segregated. They took him, and he's white, and they threw him in the black cell and said, here's a white supremacist J6er Trump supporter. And he ended up going to the hospital because they beat him and stuff. It's stuff like that our J6ers have been facing. And so we're going to be looking into, you know, where that happened, when it happened, and then we're going to, you know, start working back. But all of these cases that we're hearing about, that now that the J6ers are out. But the great thing is that we've now found and targeted judges that are not releasing the prisoners that have had their sentence commuted. So it's interesting. It's an ongoing process. We're going to end up having to use the U.S. Marshals to go after wardens and stuff.
So did you know, Jeff, that the McCloskeys were lawyers?
Yes, I did.
Okay, because they can do something about it too.
Yeah, I've already talked to Ryan about participating in and trying to, you know, talk to Harmeet Dunn and see what we can do about, you know, setting up a compensation commission. A friend of ours, Ed Martin, I guess, is now the acting U.S. attorney for the D.C. circuit, and I've talked to him about it, and so we're trying to get something set up to where, you know, people get some just compensation, and you know the compensation needs to be so large that the government knows that it can never do this again.
Well, my suggestion is that every J6er should receive $1776, 2020, and 6 cents. So that's $17,762,020.06. If you served a prison sentence, then for every day that you were incarcerated, that's $1,000 a day. If they put you in isolation, which most of them were, then it's $10,000 a day. And then if your Geneva Convention rights where they were being tortured, or like Sean was tossed into a cell, told that they was a white supremacist J6er Trump supporter, and where he got beaten up, that put his life in danger and stuff. And so that's a $5 million because that's a Geneva Convention, you know. So I'm trying to do what you're saying with Enrique Torra. He was on a plane to Miami, was never even there, wasn't even in the state. and was serving a 22-year prison sentence that he had been convicted. He was, we know of at least with Derek Evans, 12 Geneva Convention violations where he was beaten by the guards and stuff, and that would be $60 million for him for all these beatings that took place. So we've got a lot of this information is coming out. And so what I need to do is I need to get you in contact with Peter Tickton. Peter Tickton is President Trump's personal attorney, and he reached out to me 2 weeks after I lost my congressional race and said, "Hey, I think we know that you might have won your race, but we don't want you to challenge it. We've got other things for you." I didn't realize he'd already been tipped that what being the Assistant Secretary of Health was coming. But the thing is that he's been pulled off the J6ers, but he knows all of the attorneys that are there because he got pulled off of J6 and is now working the election integrity and the voter fraud across the United States, which my team, when we talked, my team was now is now working with Peter regarding voter election fraud across the nation.
Are you talking about for this last election?
No, we're talking about 2020, 2022, and 2024. We're going to, Peter's now been in charge, but they're going to go all the way back because we've got so much data. The thing is that Democrats are going to make a mistake if they ask me if I have evidence that President Trump in 2020 is, the election was stolen, because I'm going to have to ask them, which state do you want to know about?
Wow.
So.
What else you got, McCloskeys?
Well, we're going to have to go. I've got to be in court at 11, and I think I'm going to be late as it is. So
right.
I appreciate I wanted to check in with Jeff just because I talked to Ryan a while ago and hadn't had a chance to catch up since he got pardoned.
I'll say hi to Ryan, and I don't know. I'd be pretty pissed off at that the guy that wouldn't let him out of jail. I'd be real pissed off with him. In fact, you ought to get a lawsuit. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think every one of these guys is going to have a lawsuit.
All right. Well,
yeah, we're going to have. We've already got one class action lawsuit. It's a $50 billion class action lawsuit that we've got started, and everybody's upset because they go, well, it's written wrong and everything else. And I keep saying, I don't care. We file these, we lose cases like we did in the election integrity ones, but what do we get? Discovery. We get to do all these FOIAs. We get to, and as we get the discovery, they give us more and more information. And then when we actually put together the laser focused lawsuit, then we're going to win that case. And that's the one we're after. So I don't care how many we lose.
You're not a lawyer. What do you say to that quickly? I know you got to go, McCloskeys.
Well, the answer is you got to find the right jurisdiction, the right judge. Then you got to file the right lawsuit. And what we do, I used to do this years ago in mass tort litigation. You pick your best cases, you try them, you set the price, and then you set up a settlement program for everybody else.
All right, go to court. Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
All right, bye.
All right, Jeff, we still got you. You've been a great friend and a great scoop producer. My goodness, there's so many things you are versatile in: politics, election, audits, 1-6. What are you up to? How are you going to top all this? This is incredible.
Well, the thing is that Bobby Kennedy and myself we're putting together a plan that's going to change and make America healthy again. We're going to be looking at a lot of things. I think it's very interesting, and I made this statement, and I apologize because I didn't make this statement on your show, and I should have. But everybody was up in arms about the pardon for Fauci. And I said, the great thing about pardons is that that's only on the United States. And I said, crimes against humanity, there is no pardon for that. And now Putin is now requesting that Fauci be extradited. And I don't think President Trump is going to stand in the way. I think he's going to send him to Russia so that he can stand for crimes against humanity. And, if found guilty, it's an execution. And so,
I just said that one about let's call it an hour earlier in the show. I read it on X from a gal named Levy in Miami.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the ones that understand what's going on, understand, what, especially in medicine, we have an oath. So when I took my oath, it says do no harm, which means that every time you come in contact with me, Dave, you're supposed to be the same or better. The problem is that are you ever the same or better after you meet a politician? And no, you're not. I mean, I know I'm not. So the thing is that it's going to be very interesting how this is going to play out. We already know that the Democrats are going to come after me with J6. We know that the Democrats are going to come after me that I'm not a medical doctor. But medical deity doesn't mean that you make the right decisions, because the doctors have thought that it was okay to come out with a COVID vaccine that they had no history on. They weaponized, an MD actually weaponized a vaccine against the world. An MD thinks that it's okay to mutilate children for transgender and to give them drugs that sterilize them for life. So the thing is that I don't think an MD, and then who I'm replacing is going to be Admiral Rachel Levine, and he thinks that he's a woman, and
right there, boy.
Yeah, so here's a man in a dress running around, and that's the thing. We need to start going back. We just passed here in Arizona a statute. I never would have believed that we would have done that. Have to do this, but we passed a bill just 2 days ago that stated that there are only two sexes, male and female.
Yeah.
So Arizona now recognizes male and female.
RFK is not a doctor, is he?
No, he's an attorney.
He's an attorney. Okay. So are the Democrats gonna how are they gonna come across with him? I wonder, because he was a great Democrat for a long. Aren't they going to be mostly split on him, and the Republicans probably are going to go for him?
Well, the thing is that that's one of the reasons why he was supposed to be. His confirmation hearing was supposed to be on the 18th. Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard's was supposed to be on the 19th. But the Democrats did not want any type of win so that he could say something in his inauguration speech about the two Democrats that had jumped ship. So they dug their heels in. They prevented it. What it's done is it's moved my confirmation hearing for another couple of weeks. And then I just recently, and I just before it came on, was told that RFK's hearing has now been set, but I don't know what the date is. But it just happened as I came on the show.
Cool. All right. So you guys are going to be put in motion, and I got a feeling you're going to do pretty good compared to what all the other guys, except for Hegseth, is getting a bunch of crap, but he's going to make it.
Right.
Yeah, and you got these rhinos in there, like Collins and Murkowski, voting against Hegseth, and they both voted to get Austin and Milley in there,
right,
with no expression of any kind of difficulty, and these guys were terrible.
Well, again, one of the things is that this smokes out the people that are problem children that need to come, be disciplined, be removed, put in timeout, meaning that they lose their office. and stuff. Remember, Daddy's home, and he's only been home for 5 days. So we're gonna be looking at what's taking place now, and that what
That's so true. Trump is home.
exactly.
And watch out.
So
he talked to the World Economic Committee yesterday. Davos, they're in Davos, and he pretty much lectured them. This is the way it's going to be. You make your choice, but you're going to be doing
exactly.
the highway, or you're going to get the highway from us.
Well, and that's the way it should be.
Okay.
And the great thing about this is like I said, we've now smoked out the judges that think that they're judge, jury, and executioner of the J6ers, and not allowing them to be released when we have an unconditional pardon. But the their sentence being commuted means that, that they have to be released. And then once they're released, then they can go back to trial. They can do all this, but they don't have the right to restrict them the way that these judges think so. So the thing is that we find those out. We know that the judges are unconstitutional, and we're going to get those unconstitutional judges out. We'll go after them. We'll get them removed, get them impeached, and put them before the Congress. Remove them, and we will replace them with other judges that are going to be constitutional, that protect the rights of the people.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to ask about is the judges, the people in the FBI, the CIA, who were sent there on a mission to get this thing done, and the J6 committee itself. What is going to be the repercussions and the ability of the J6ers to sue and get damages from these people?
Well, the great thing about it is what we discussed earlier. The pardon is one thing, and we can't go after them for the J6 stuff through the civil courts or criminal courts. However, crimes against humanity, you go before a military tribunal, and military tribunals are different. And so there is no pardon for that. And so for people need to relax and understand that our military is about to go through. And I had a friend of mine call me that's in Guantanamo, and he said, I don't know what's going on, but we're building a courthouse.
Well, that's a big scoop right there.
So
that is a huge scoop. It's what I've been hearing about for years from some people talking about people getting tried already, and
also. Well, and the thing is that the conspiracy theorists and everything else. I love some of the things, but it makes absolutely no sense to try the original person and execute them, and then put a dummy in their place.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes no sense.
I agree with that, but I got people that I talk to that believe that.
Yeah, I know.
I believe it's been happening for 5 years or so.
So the thing is that we're going to take these people. We're going to reveal what's going to take place. There's going to be trials. And the thing is that I think that we still need to be a first world country. We're not a third world country. We're not going to just go after one party because they came after us. We're going to do it. We're going to do it lawfully. We're going to make sure that the evidence is presented is truthful, is accurate. And when we find that out, and if the jury of the military find that they have it's risen to the level of treason, then they have 3 days to get their affairs in order, and they have 5 choices of which they can meet their maker.
Wow. That's a scoop right there. That's huge. Okay, man alive. All right, so let me see if I got anything else. What is you mentioned all these different things about the scope of HHS. Like, for example, you got border issues, you got child and woman trafficking, forensic election audits. What else?
Well, the thing is that what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at and immediately setting down and talking with all of the manufacturing companies that deliver products here in the United States. President Trump is actually making it to where if you want to sell something in the United States, please come here, build your manufacturer.
Right.
You'll have the lowest taxes of all in any country whatsoever. And then we want it to be healthy again. So we're going to take the, things like yellow dye, 6, 9, 12 that are carcinogenic, red dye 5. We'll eliminate those. We can replace that with, if you need something that is orange or yellow, then we can use turmeric. If you want something that's red, we can use sweet beet there, and it will cause it to be red. So the thing is that we'll use something that would be an anti-inflammatory, which is what turmeric is, or an antioxidant for the beets and everything. So these are all things that are healthy for America, and it gives them an alternative. But the thing is that we live in a...
You're gonna be using less of this stuff. It sounds like you're going to make more money doing this.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, if the other countries want to sell their products and they want to manufacture it in their country, that's fine. But they're going to be sanctioned with tariffs and sanctions and stuff, so that it's equal. So you're going to be looking at something that may not be as healthy.
All these ingredients, some of them are going to be totally eliminated, which means they don't have to buy these ingredients.
Correct. And that's the beauty of it. And so those will be taken off the market. But the thing is that, the statement that, RFK made was, we just want to remove all the snacks off the shelves. Well, you can't do that. I mean, you think J6 people show up? Well, everybody would show up because everybody kind of likes their snack. They like, they like going and getting McDonald's fries. They like, the president, there's times where you're going to go to the White House and the meal of the night is going to be McDonald's. And that's just the facts. That's, and that's one of the things that President Trump was like, you can't take this away from people. And stuff. So
good. But I mean, I don't know if there's I'm sure there's some things that we're going to be doing too. I just don't know exactly what it was. I'm sure some of it has to do with the French fries, though. But anyways, I'm not in top management, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen. What's your grade for Trump up to now? Like, I don't know.
Well, if he keeps going at the pace he's going to be the most dramatic president in our history. He's already approached, and there's a couple of things that he still says that he's going to do, which I know that he will, but he's already superseded almost every president that we've ever had. In the first 4 days, he's accomplished more than, probably 90% of the presidents did in their entire 4-year period. And he did it in 4 days. So the thing is, if he keeps this pace, he's right now, he should surpass Franklin Roosevelt, who was the most dynamic president in his first 100 days, accomplished more than any president had up to that point. He's going to surpass him in probably day 20.
In terms of actual effectiveness, I think FDR is not all that worthy myself.
Well, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I understand, but when you look at here we were, and we were in this Great Depression, and people were starving to death. and he put together and put the American population to work and gave them money and supported them. And we got things like the Hoover Dam. We got most of our roads. We got a lot of the things, the infrastructure in which he put together is still for 90 years is still in effect. And so that's where I say he's the most dynamic, and President Trump is on pace that if he keeps doing what he's doing, the effect of what this is going to do and what he's putting in place is probably going to affect America for the next 90 days or 90 years.
Well, I don't necessarily agree, but FDR I have problems with, but I don't want to talk about that right now. Here's an important thing I want to ask you. What do you call RFK when you're close to him? Is it Mr. Kennedy? Is it Robert RFK? Seriously.
Bobby Kennedy is a great man that when we're talking, that's it. That's it. When I call him Mr. Kennedy,
you're not up there saying to him, "Hey, Putz, I want to talk to you." You're calling him something respectable, aren't you?
Oh, well, absolutely, Mr. Kennedy. Yeah. I'd like to talk to you just for a few minutes. And
Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's fine with that. Call me Robert. He doesn't say that, right?
Bobby.
He wants to be called Bobby. Oh, do you call him that?
I have, yeah.
Okay. All righty. So when you introduce him to me, when I come to Washington, I can say, "Hi, Bobby. Nice to meet you."
If you feel comfortable, that
I think you're about. I'm getting you into trouble, and I don't want to do that. I can see that right now. All right. So other than Dave, I think I've tortured you enough. Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and contribute to
Ryan
Legal?
So it's going to be giftsandgo.com /Ryan Zink. While Ryan has been pardoned, the thing is that we have approximately $350,000 that we're still needing to, get to replay, and that's just to get even and stuff. So he's got a long ways to go before we're there, and he hasn't even, about $12,000, $13,000 is all he's ever raised.
All right. I use the I had a little run-in with the law, so I used the court escalator. They couldn't figure out whether to bring me up or down on charges. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, my friend Jeff. Hi to Ryan. Hi to Stephanie. And anytime you want to call me. All right.
All right, I will. I appreciate it. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Wow. This show, I have not seen these numbers ever. Not even close. I don't understand it. It's just so amazing that we got this. I mean, let me read some of the comments while I'm doing this. I'm a little early, but let's see. Elizabeth. That would be Marco killed it. That's Liz, as we know her. Who else? Sharon Passing. And
it's not showing up here, but on my feed, I can see it. It's a big thumbs up, is what she has said.
Big thumbs up?
Yep.
Okay, it's not a finger, just a finger.
No, thumbs up.
Okay. Chris Ranzani, the Godfather. Good morning, Dave and lovely Lisa. Another great show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
And Charles Peterson, Daddy's home. That's what Barron said to Joe and Kamala at the inauguration. You know what? Are you sure that could be true? Did you just see the clip where he's up there? They introduce him and he's up there and he's looking around. He's 6'9", this kid, and then he goes like this. Like I'm not hearing the applause loud enough. Some schmuck is the back. Sitting in the back. He is laughing so hard he almost falls on his face. This is a joy. Okay, this This is the most joyful I've ever been, which means how sour I am typically, right, honey?
Yes.
Thank you.
I can confirm
Thanks. Thank you. Would you shut her mic off, for God's
I'm
sakes?
agreeing
I've had
with-
enough.
I'm
I've had
agreeing
enough.
with you.
I've had enough. Leave me alone. Don't hurt me. No, don't hurt me. I knew that was coming. Anyways, I want to thank you all for this this great show up and these great interviews. And you know, isn't it interesting though that you're coming to a show where everybody wants to talk to each other? The other guests want to talk to each other. I haven't seen that a lot. I mean, it's not like I'm doing this as a profession. I'm just trying to do the best I can in my little own brain that has never been trained in the law or politics to come up with some common sense. And I think we've got that now with Donald J. Trump. Would you say that? And he's showing it, and he's funny, and he talks to the press all the time. I think we got a real winner here, and I hope you're happy, and I hope you're as happy as I am. I'll be back with another edition of the Dave Weinbaum Show next week.